Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Great to be with you on this Balls McWednesday. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always don't miss anything, but if you do, just know that you can get caught up at your leisure all 3 hours, posted both on iTunes and our own audio vault upon the conclusion of the show. You can email the program if you like. It's jcs@979espnradio.com. Find me on Twitter at jcameron.show. WTSM app, good for your mobile devices, and you can watch the show being performed on YouTube. ESPN Tallahassee on YouTube. Hope you guys are good. Well, it's the first win of the year, the first game of the year. Is it required of me? I didn't do it last night on Twitter because it's just one game, and I don't go crazy after one game, although I've got some positive things to say, I'll tell you that. But, all right, we could all use the bump. We could all use the uptick in positivity for the time being, so here you go. Choo-choo! Noles start out the season the right way. Last night's season opener, a victorious one at the TLC Double C, knocking off George Washington and doing so really in dominant fashion. Build a big lead right off the bat. I think we were barely 7 minutes into this game, and Florida State was out to an 11-4 lead, and Kumaji was towering over GW, and they didn't have a lot of resistance to him. And then you get a three ball from Phil Kofer, a layup from Savoy, and next thing you know, we're off and running. Fun style of play. It's 19-7 early on in this game, and I'm going to look big picture here. I'm not going to go through all of the numbers, whether it be, listen, GW came out in that second half knowing that they weren't going to be able to keep up, have the stamina, size, speed, depth to run with Florida State. Florida State got out in transition, really got a lot of easy baskets around the rim. Part of that was because they are a bigger team than GW, but part of it is also style of play. And when they play with tempo, they're a lot of fun to watch. That's how they played all of last year, and 26 victories. And, what I like most about the transition to this style of play from where we used to be isn't so much just that the pace is much more exciting to watch, but also that they've gone from a team that, in terms of turnovers per possession, were one of the worst in basketball and almost unwatchable at times, to a team now that not only plays fast, but by and large, when the game is still in doubt, they're not turning it over. Now, the second half, they turn it over a little bit when GW goes to that 2-3 zone, which you kind of knew they'd have to do. But I also like the way that the guys settled in after that, and the lead got narrowed down. Next thing you know, the scoring drought, coupled with a new look, had the Colonials pull the thing within 10 points, and you wondered how Florida State would respond, and they did. But okay, I'll get to that. Let's instead look at this. I believe this is the kind of team that Leonard Hamilton does well with, maybe better than he does with some other types of teams. When there are superstar players on the roster that other players have to defer to, and that maybe you've got to kind of run some things for, that's not so much what he likes to do. They've had kids that they could do that with recently. They've had one and done. They've had guys that have certainly changed Florida State's profile. When you think about what Florida State basketball is now, and I'm talking about the way people view them nationally, certainly that's not what comes to mind when you think of Florida State. You immediately think of the football team and the situation they currently find themselves in, notwithstanding that's what you think of. But I think if you do think of Florida State basketball, you now think that no longer is this the team that you associate directly with dominating, suffocating defense, boring, beat you 50-46 on a given night, and that the only way they can hang in there with the better teams because they're lacking skill or depth or talent is to just suffocate you defensively, alter a ton of shots, and hopefully wear you down. People have, I think, probably by now, transitioned into looking at this team as athletic, far more skilled than they used to be, certainly deep, still big, but they get out and they run and they play an exciting brand of college basketball. That was on display. But right now, it's a team full of guys that aren't going to feel like they have to defer to any one guy. Leonard has to love that because he's about a system. He's about buy-in. He's about everybody being on the same page, making good decisions, and no one guy controlling and holding the basketball more than others by a gross disparity. This team's that team. This team represents that style of play, and there is enough skill and enough talent that on any given night it could be a different kid's day to lead the way in scoring. You're not going to have a singular figure there. And I think that plays well to Hamilton's philosophy. I think it plays well to their teachings. And I think it plays well to a selfless team. By all accounts we hear this offseason, that's what they are. That it's a group that likes one another, that is understanding of those roles, and that they have to play hard because there's a kid pushing them off the bench that wants to be out there too. And the ebb and flow of that is a good thing. I believe Florida State's going to be better than people are probably projecting. I can tell that most of the people that email this show, Tom, most of the people that interact with this program or interact with me even publicly, they're expecting a steep decline from what Florida State was a year ago, which was an amazing season, one in which they didn't lose a single game at home, one in which they provided us a lot of thrills, a lot of upsets, whether that be wins over Duke or Louisville, whomever you want to point out from last year. Second round of the tournament, even that loss was disappointing, but you still couldn't ignore the fact that it was, by and large, a successful season. I think a lot of people think it's not going to be nearly as successful, and while I concur they're not going to be anything close to as good as they were a year ago, I don't think they're going to be terrible either, and I do think they're a tournament team.
Well, they can be a matchup nightmare for teams because they have so many different matchups they can go to. The question is how, if they have to match up with an ACC team on a given night, how much skill can you really rotate in and out? Or is it more that you have to rotate physical presence out there in order to secure the glass and play a lower scoring game? But those are questions for 2 months from now. For me, the number one thing, or 6 weeks at least, the number one thing that I took away from last night, and these are going to be competing thoughts, so forgive me, but, we live in a world where competing thoughts or seemingly competing thoughts can be true. Man, first of all, it's a blast to watch. It's up the court, down the court. Mm-hmm. It's effort on both sides. Mm-hmm. And then after kids, expend all of their energy or seemingly all of their energy, here come 5 new ones or 4 new ones. And those guys can't wait to get on the court. And they seem to play for each other. And I think against lower caliber competition, they'll be able to run them ragged, get them tired, and capitalize with scoring runs just because of the stamina effect of being able to play
beating
10,
people
11
down the
guys.
floor, sure, yeah.
All right, so that's great. But the competing thought is as much fun as that is, I don't know how sustainable that will be against the better teams in the conference, in the ACC. And you're going to get tests in the ACC right out the gate. Now, what could be true is that these 6 weeks provide enough reps, enough moments and rotations with each and every one of the other guys that they, are playing with at different sizes, whether we play 4 guards or, some combo of twin posts every once in a while, whatever it is. Maybe this provides them the opportunity to be a more well-oiled machine by the time they get to conference play. But you can see that there's going to be a lot of rust along the way, that there are going to be stretches like the beginning of the second half. I don't think that's an outlier. I think that's going to be the hallmark of non-conference season. The question is, when they're running up and down the floor against some of these outgunned teams, do they do so effectively enough in order to assert themselves, put the game away when they have a chance to put the game away, and gain confidence coming into conference season? They're not as talented, but they may be able to play greater than the sum of their parts to where in college basketball, given the way this game is, man, you might be able to surprise some people. But there's just there are questions along the way is all I'm saying.
Well, it's Florida State basketball. There's always going to be questions. They're not good enough to recruit 4 and 5 McDonald's All-Americans to where those holes are filled by elite players year in and year out. So I fully expect going into any given season, no matter how good Florida State is or what the expectations are, that they're going to have weaknesses that are going to be tough to overcome when compared to the likes of Duke and North Carolina and Louisville and the other elites. That's fine. I can live with that. But I think they're good enough, to learn as what you're talking about here to what you're talking about here in the non-conference, have enough success there that as they get into ACC play, and oh, by the way, they don't ease into ACC play. We did this yesterday, but I'll do it again for you here. We're not too far away. The first one's in December. At the end of December, you get Duke. You follow it up by North Carolina. Oh, thanks a lot, ACC. Nothing like playing the preseason number 1 and last year's defending national champion in back-to-back ACC games.
Yeah, whatever you're doing with Swaffy, it's not enough because he just said double birds after last year.
Oh, here comes Florida State scheduling. Huh? Well, let me pee on them. So here's Duke, followed by North Carolina, followed by Miami, who's always a test, and Louisville. Oh, okay. Well, get you some right there. So that's a toughie. Again, just beginning with Duke on the road, coming home to North Carolina, then going back on the road to Coral Gables, then coming home to Louisville. Okay. That said, let's not get too far out in front here. It's the kind of team that I think will play really well together and play into what Leonard Hamilton teaches, preaches, and wants to do. And I think these are kids that appear to be very unselfish. They have a nice blend of incoming skill, talent to upgrade the offensive end, and they have enough experience that a lot of the guys that weren't superstar players, that were the players having to defer to Bacon or XRM or Isaac or before that Beasley, have been here. They've been in the wars. They've played the big games in the ACC. They've now made an NCAA tournament run. They had the undefeated season at home. So these are kids that understand the system defensively, which is very important, and they believe in what this program is now, and they've been a part of successes. That can carry you a long way as you try to spread that knowledge and that belief in the newcomers that come here that are talented, many of whom are a little bit more talented than some of those veterans. We talk about the makeup of teams a lot of times in basketball, especially big-time college basketball, where the teams that recruit at the highest levels are sure to bring in NBA talent. That one guy, because there are only 5 on the floor at one given time, can lead a team to a Final Four, especially if he's truly unique. If he's a true game changer, he can take over games, drop 40 in a rivalry game or in a tournament game, whatever it might be. This team's not that team. We don't have that guy. They're not going to have that guy. But you always find that team that nobody wants to play, the mid-major, with plenty of experience and enough talent to, on a given night, give you a lot of problems. And one of the things that you always see with those teams is a real belief in what they're doing and a real love for one another. And I think this team will emerge sort of like those teams do. And that's the hope anyhow. I don't want to get too far out over my skis here, but I do believe this is a good basketball team. Great? No. As talented as the team a year ago? No. Willing to play together within a system, love one another, play hard, play fast, play fun. Yep, they're going to do all those things. They're not going to be a fun team for opponents in this conference to play.
As far as individuals go, Terrence Mann looked good last night. Again, you'll have to see, that
just love what he does, though.
Yes.
We've been saying this for a couple of years now.
Right.
I just love what he does.
Right. If you were to, the catch-all term of a winning player, that's what he is.
He's one of those guys, yeah.
The big moments, the big boards, whatever it needs to be, big board. He seems to be around the basketball or around the basket at key times. But I really loved what I saw to MJ Walker last night in limited minutes. Obviously it's from the perimeter, so anytime we have an actual jump shooter that can hit the outside shot, that's great. But the first 3 he hits is in kind of an important circumstance where George Washington is shrinking the lead down, and momentum is not. If it's neutralized, that's the best case scenario for Florida State, because George Washington was asserting itself and at least planting seeds of doubt into the 3,000, 4,000 people that showed up at the TLC Double C, and he hits a shot in that moment. It kind of breaks the ice. Everybody can calm down again. So. I like that, in his first game, kind of a big moment. It's a growing moment. He's up to the task. That's great. Instead of pressing too hard as a freshman, trying to make too much of an impact, as you're talking about, playing within yourself and
knowing your role, man.
If it's a 10-man rotation, it's a 10-man rotation. And maybe that's something that could play to our benefit as we get into conference season, that there aren't such big high-profile players. I get MJ Walker's a McDonald's All-American, but it's not the same as a surefire lottery pick in Jonathan Isaac. Maybe it's that there aren't enough big-time names on this team that you can continue to play 9-10 deep and let your depth win out for you over the long haul. But the thing is, to be a tournament team, you're going to have to win 1 to 3 games that people don't expect you to win, because you're going to lose at least 1 to 3 games that you're not expected to lose. And I don't know that we're capable of doing that against the ACC upper echelon just yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, you got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. I would also say that I think I'm going to guess that they do pull off a couple of upsets. We play really well here, and we get some of these teams at home, and these guys will play hard, and they'll be in games, and the crowd will, surprisingly, we've gotten to a place where they come out to support this team. Last year they did. It's exciting. I hope it's part of a larger transition. This place is never going to be mistaken for a basketball school. But I think we're making strides here. It's important for Leonard Hamilton and his staff to go back to the tournament and have another good year and continue to build trust.
Good job, students, again.
Yeah.
They showed up in force last night.
Well, if they showed up last year, they didn't see anything but a win. So that carries over. Those kinds of momentum shifts towards the positive are what's happening with Florida State basketball. They got to find a way to keep it going. They won't be as dominant. They won't win 26 games. But they're going to be a fun team to watch play. Let's transition to football. The rankings came out last night. I laugh at everybody's outrage with that. I'll comment on that a couple times throughout the day, but we'll go through that. Moreover, we'll bring it back home. I was asked some questions this morning on another radio program regarding Jimbo Fisher and the Texas A&M rumors, along with Florida State's preparation down the stretch here against Delaware State, Florida, and Louisiana Monroe, and whether or not they get bowl eligible and what the fate of Jimbo Fisher and his coaching staff is. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the makers of the toughest utility vehicles on earth, can give you the best year-end deal on earth. So let us show you how to get tax savings on your new Mahindra XTV and get cash back and savings up to $2,500 on select clearance models. Plus, get a free roof and Mahindra's 3-year warranty.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Com.
To the pylon! That's a Seminoles touchdown!
In this tight labor market, finding new employees can be tough. Whether you're the business owner or an HR professional, you want access to highly qualified candidates fast. More than 3 million businesses use Indeed.com, the world's #1 job site. Whether you need entry-level or highly skilled employees, no matter the industry, with Indeed you get immediate access to a high-quality pool of talent with no long-term contracts or upfront fees. For a limited time, Indeed is offering new users a $50 credit to make their first job listing a sponsored job with premium visibility so more candidates will see it. You want to make a great hire fast, and this exclusive offer gives you a head start. Independent research shows 6 times more hires are delivered through Indeed than any other job site, making Indeed your one-stop source for hiring. To redeem this offer, go to Indeed.com/offer. That's Indeed.com/offer. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
97.9 ESPN Radio would like to congratulate Leon's Parker Powell, November's male winner of the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac High School Scholar Athlete of the Month. Parker, a first-team midfielder on the All-Big Ben soccer team, is also the captain of the Leon Lions, a team that reached the state semifinals just 1 year ago. Parker excels in the classroom with a 3.82 unweighted GPA while taking all AP and honors classes. He's also been a member of the National Honor Society throughout high school. Parker Powell has served as a volunteer for the Keep Tallahassee Beautiful Adopt a Road Litter program, as a Leon Little Lions soccer camp counselor, and as a volunteer for the Tyler Simpkins helmet giveaway. As the November male winner of the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac High School Scholar Athlete of the Month, Leon's Parker Powell is now qualified as a finalist for the Dale Jr. $2,500 end-of-the-year scholarship. To help support our friends at Dale Jr., check them out on the corner of Capitol Circle Northeast in Miccosukee, or by visiting online at Dale Earnhardt Jr. BuickGMC Cadillac.com.
This Day in Sports, brought to you by Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary. Get your history lesson weekdays at 5:30 during the Jeff Cameron Show, right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hi, I'm Tabitha Coffey, TV personality and small business advisor. Many of the businesses I work with just need extra capital for things like remodeling or purchasing more products. That's where Cabbage comes in with flexible lines of credit of up to $150,000. Apply online and get a decision right away. Withdraw funds when you need them without reapplying. Cabbage has supported over 100,000 small businesses. Get started at cabbage.com/transform or 855-CABBAGE. That's Cabbage with a K, 855-CABBAGE.
Line of credit is subject to credit approval. See terms and conditions.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. All right, playoffs, yeah. Everybody get angry. This will work itself out. Obviously, for example, Clemson and Miami will play one another, so don't have to worry about all that, about who's where. And, what happens is people get upset saying, well, but it reveals a flawed way of thinking. Yeah, well, for those of us around here, we figured that out during the time in which we were winning every single game we played. And yet, the talking point was, I'm just not sure. Florida State may get left out. And you're thinking, well, I know 1 year is not supposed to have any bearing on the next, but if a team's won 29 straight games, I do think you have to look at the evidence in totality to suggest they may be worthy of a playoff spot. And yet, for much of that season, it was, well, I just don't know. They haven't looked good, and the ACC is sure shaky. So we knew around here that it was nonsense and that a lot of what was being said at the weekly press conference unveiling, it wasn't a press conference as much as it was a show, was meant to titillate, meant to poke fun of and at the bear, if you will, and elicit strong emotion and reaction and, moreover, chatter. And it's worked. It's what they do. So when you see rankings that come out, Alabama's the new number 1 team. Clemson moved up to number 2, and Miami's 3, and Oklahoma's now 4. Everybody immediately goes to resume. Everybody immediately goes, well, wait a minute here. And, yeah, upon first glance, you'd say, are we just going to act like Clemson didn't lose a game? Like, is this what we do now? Clemson lost to Syracuse, but forget about it. We don't really care? And because Miami hasn't, and they've got a nice resume. Why are they behind?
Well, I think there's a couple of things. Obviously, by the time you get to the final selection, the only one that matters, only one that matters. The committee, even though it's changed, I think about 50%, there's been turnover about 50% of the committee over the time in the 5 years now. This is year 5 of the college football playoff. Believe it or not, it's pretty crazy, right? Or year 4, excuse me. Mm-hmm. But they're not afraid to seed teams based upon the way they think the teams are in actuality, not what their record states they are.
That's correct.
But leading up to the final ranking, they're not afraid to entertain the masses by just doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
All kinds of crazy things.
It's an entertainment program until that final
For
week.
the purpose of entertainment, for the purpose of creating more discussion, more argument for that matter, Twitter chatter and the like, that keeps the sport, front and center. The NFL has mastered this game for a very long time. It's why there seemingly is no NFL offseason. Everything gets drawn out to the nth degree, and we're forced at some point in any given show in the dead of summer to be talking about the NFL. And it's masterfully done. And from a marketing tool and from a PR standpoint, you can't do it any better. College football has grown leaps and bounds over the last 20 years. As a product, it is the second most popular sport to the NFL, right? It's what we now know is a talking point across the country, where it used to be primarily in the South. It would spread to Texas and California. And that's about it. It's the whole country talking today about the college football playoff rankings and the various talking points and arguments for each and their positioning. And I got it. But what we've also learned is that it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter, especially when there are games still to be played that are going to influence this set of four, including those against one another.
Yeah, again, it's a professional sport in all ways except the most important way. But if you look at the 3-4 outside of the top four, that is to say 5 through 8, well, Wisconsin's there. They're going to play in their championship game, and that gives them their strongest case or not. All right, so that's taken care of. Then it's Auburn, Georgia. Well, if you combine them with Alabama and you look at the top 7, one of those teams will stand. And maybe an at-large if there is a 2-loss conference champion, but they're all going to kind of play each other out. Obviously, the Iron Bowl in a couple of weeks, and then the SEC title game, which gets Georgia back into the fold. Then it's Notre Dame, Ohio State, Penn State, USC, and TCU. All teams that may have a path for a 2-loss case to make at some point here. Probably Notre Dame has the weakest case of those because they don't have a conference championship game now. They really needed to beat Miami.
They're done.
But you know what the score is here. Miami, Clemson going to play each other off. Alabama, Auburn, Georgia going to play each other off. Wisconsin gets in the Big Ten title game. Whoever they play going to play each other off. And then there's Oklahoma too. So
can you hit the little whistle thingy? After every time you say they're going to play each other off, I just want you to hit that whistle.
Is that really a thing?
No, I'm just saying.
Is that a terminology?
It's just awesome if you use it. Go ahead and say it and then play it and see what happens.
Well, okay, Alabama, Auburn, and Georgia going to play each other off. Clemson and Miami, they're going to play each other off.
It works.
That is kind of funny.
It works.
Yeah. Wisconsin in the Big Ten title game, whoever they play, they're going to play each other off. Got to give you access to the buttons. You see they gave Levitard access now?
I want access to the buttons. I need the buttons.
Well, we need
we need to
maybe for the budget meetings.
Yeah, let's have a button meeting. I want buttons. This show will be a mess. I'll be steady hitting buttons. Matthew's over there like, don't give him the buttons. No buttons. You know how many new buttons we'd have if I have access to the buttons we're going to add?
There was a segment that I'm sure 95% of the country hated, but they just let Stugotz hit buttons for about 4 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sure that was terrible.
I thought it was the funniest thing I've heard in a long, long time.
Well, there's some things about working in radio that you find humor in that is really radio humor.
Right.
But it's not entertaining for the listener.
Correct. Right. No, it was an indulgent moment for them and for me listening to it.
Yeah, they are going to play each other off, Tom, and I do think that we know year in and year out that it's nothing to get up in arms about, that we can all take a deep breath and laugh at those who do. It's usually for the simpletons amongst us. Let's just say it. They're screaming at each other last night. Well, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, that's because the powers that be know that social media is a powerful tool, and, that
I laughed aloud.
Tool begets tools, right?
I'm just asking a blunt question here. Who do you think is going to win the national title? Who do you think is going to emerge and win the national title? And I'm starting to think, frankly, more and more that it might be Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And I don't think I would have said anything close to that just a few weeks ago, and that's kind of fun. It's one of the things that we love about the volatility of college football.
Yeah, if you ask me today, which is what you're doing, and the purpose of this part of the segment,
I'd say hard to say Alabama. You want to, but it's hard to say Alabama.
I'd say Oklahoma. I agree. And then, Auburn, maybe, especially if they win in a couple of weeks.
Well,
you give Malzahn time to prepare and all that, man, plus that defense. I
so you know what it does? It makes you go back and really appreciate that Clemson beat Auburn.
Yeah.
We forget about
and
that
hold
game.
It down.
Like all these weeks later, we forget about that game. Again, I'm on the record as saying that I think one of the interesting facets of this college football season is there isn't a Deshaun Watson. There's not a guy on these championship-level teams outside of Oklahoma's Baker Mayfield. There isn't a guy you look to where you go, yeah, they got a guy. They got a special player that's a difference maker that'll carry the day, all things being equal. They don't. Nobody has that. Not Alabama, not Clemson, certainly, not Miami. At the most important position on the field, they're all flawed.
Right, and the fact that I say Auburn, and as I'm straining to say it, is they're a two-loss team. I think that says it all about what this season is.
Sure.
They lost to LSU. Auburn lost to LSU.
Well, and they were kicking their ass.
Right.
If you recall, that's the game where LSU just decided out of desperation to blitz.
Yes.
Over and over and over again. I watched that whole game. Let me. I was at the beach, and here's what I said. I can tell you exactly.
I was at the beach.
I was at the beach, and I was watching that at a beachside bar.
Oh, like a tiki hut.
Yes, I was enjoying myself, and I watched that game, and I was in where I was.
Turks and Caicos playing?
No, but where I was an area where Alabama fans and LSU fans and Florida fans and Florida State fans and Georgia fans all meet, right? And so I was sitting back from afar sort of enjoying the exchanges. And the more people drink, and they're like, yeah, well, we're going to beat your ass in 3 weeks and all that goodness, right? So I'm watching this play out.
We'll take another Busch Light.
I like to hunt there too. So there they were, and they were all kind of talking to each other, and I was just like, oh, this is good. And I was judging them. And one of the things that I enjoyed thoroughly was when the game was getting immediately lopsided in favor of Auburn and thinking, wow, this poor LSU guy next to me, what's he going to say in an hour? I mean, this is about to get ugly. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't. And they blitzed on every play, and Auburn never adjusted.
Yeah.
And I'm going, run a screen pass, my man. Can we run a draw? What are you doing over here? I mean, they're just steady taking ass kickings, not doing something to offset bat out of hell blitzes from every which way to Sunday. And the game turned around, and it was fun to watch. And it's one of the things that's great about college football. It was also fun to watch that fan.
But, I mean, okay, so look at that top 12 even. And if a TCU or an Oklahoma State or a Penn State, Ohio State, if any of them somehow just made it into the Final Four, they have a puncher's chance, more than a puncher's chance to win the whole thing.
Did you include Penn State in that list? They're not going anywhere. No.
Listen, they're beaten right now. Listen, I got you. I'm just talking about you put them in a game against Clemson. Really? I mean, is Clemson that much better than Penn State?
Yeah, but not
against
great.
Miami. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
really?
mean, I get what you're saying. I don't think it's I don't think there's a dominant team. If that's the point you're making, sure.
Clemson's capable of losing to us this weekend. They just let teams hang around for no reason. They lost to Syracuse.
But they don't have a great quarterback. That's why. I think we're coming back to the same central theme here is that nobody has a great quarterback. We have some guys that have great days and some guys that are utilized properly. Alabama utilizes their quarterback exceptionally well.
Yeah.
And, by the way, I've never had I've always brought this up about Jalen. He's got a great arm. He's just not a consistent passer from the pocket. He made some throws in this game that I didn't give him credit for, that I should. I mean, I'm not saying he's devoid of that. I'm talking about the Mississippi State game.
Yeah.
He's not devoid of that. It's just that there's not a consistency there, and that allows for people to hang around and have opportunity, especially if you're good on defense. And so, yeah, to that extent, I agree with you. There are a lot of teams that could be in it. Look, Miami's playing as well as anybody right now. It's because they believe, they're playing fast, they're triggering downhill, they're hitting people, they're playing with emotion and enthusiasm. They're treeing in some ways, especially at quarterback. But, utilizing him as a runner was the right thing to do, and they have. And Mark Richt has allowed that to happen. You see zone read success with him. You're right. On a given Saturday, who knows? And that's beautiful to watch. It's also infinitely frustrating that Florida State hasn't been better.
But that was on Monday. I was like, good God, this
you
was such a
around,
gettable year.
Well, especially with the talent we have on defense. If you get a modicum of consistency on offense, I mean, Georgia's found a way to do it with a freshman quarterback. So,
but rather than talking about the wrongs of Clemson being a 2 over Miami or whatever that discussion is today, the focus is any one of those teams in the top dozen, you just get in. If you can just get in, it's not like a year where Alabama and Clemson,
where you go, they're going to beat that ass,
or they're going to rematch each other. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not that year.
By the way, that's what if you're coming at it from a Florida State angle. And meaning that you would like anybody but Miami type thing. If that's the angle you're coming at it with, then you're concerned that they got by Georgia Tech, that they got by North Carolina, that they found a way to pull a win out against us, that they got by all these games that you could make compelling arguments they should have lost. Well, they didn't lose. And they emerged from all of that narrow victory week in and week out with a belief that they're always going to win. And now the difference is, it's not happening in the fourth quarter. They're kicking your ass in the first quarter because they're stepping on the field with a belief that they are going to win. And I don't think they're great, but we're pointing out you don't have to be great this year to compete and maybe even win a national title. So your fear is I'd love to summarily dismiss Miami Because I think you can look at them and say, amongst the contenders, they're not one or two. And yet, I can't sit here today and tell you that I'm certain they couldn't beat these other teams.
Yeah, if they laid an egg in the playoff, you'd be like, well, that was in them.
Yeah, well,
but
certainly.
You're still scared at kickoff saying, well, I'm not so sure.
What if they start believing again?
Sure.
Let Alabama fool around and let them hang around.
Well,
You're right. You'd start to...
The ACC title game will be like that because it's a guaranteed playoff game in a sense.
Well, and I will say this. I think Miami would play well against Clemson. In fact, right now, Clemson would not want to play Miami. Now, if I'm a Clemson fan, I'm telling Jeff Cameron to go to hell. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I've had enough out of you. All we do is win, Jeff. Why don't you shut your mouth? You're on this Miami train now. I got you. I'm saying with your quarterback going against that Miami defense, well, turnover chain bound, baby.
Well, ETN needs to go crazy. That's what needs to happen.
And then again, that's a problem matchup for them too because I don't think that Miami's going to make I think Miami would slow that down, and then conversely, I think Miami would have a hard time moving the ball against Clemson's defense, which is why I think this is a good game.
It's too bad you have a garbage slate this weekend, and we're not just playing those now.
No. I don't want to fast forward the season. This is the time of the year where we're down to the final full couple of weeks of college football where I embrace the crappiest of matchups. I'm like, there's a game on? Yes, Jeff, Temple is playing so-and-so. Yeah. Well, let's sit down and enjoy.
Oh, well, that's all it is this weekend.
Well, all right. Can't wait. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the world's #1 selling tractor, can give you the #1 year-end deal. Let us show you how to get tax savings on the toughest tractors on earth and get up to $7,400 in discounts along with Mahindra's 7-year warranty. Plus, get an Emax 22 with mid-mower for just $134 a month.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Not to mention saving energy, water, and money.
And when we download the City of Tallahassee Utilities Digitally smartphone app, we can do everything on our phone. Pretty incredible.
Plus, there are new authorized payment locations, like some local gas stations, grocery stores, other city departments, and more.
We can even go to the Renaissance Center at 435 North Macomb Street to pay our bill.
Wow. The E really does stand for easy, doesn't it?
It sure does. E Plus from the City of Tallahassee Utilities. Your own utilities.
Can't decide between fresh steak, seafood, or wings? Well, Miller's Ale House on Appalachia Parkway has it all. From center-cut sirloin and original pastas to fresh salads and favorites like Miller's Signature Zingers, tossed in your favorite sauce. Miller's Ale House has a full-service bar featuring more than 75 beers, plus wine and liquors. Bring the family to watch the big game inside or on their covered patio on one of over 60 HD TVs. However you come to relax, you will have a good time and great food at Miller's Ale House on Appalachia Parkway.
Parker Brothers Roofing your pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Customers constantly tell us that they're getting several estimates to compare apples to apples. You ever bite into an apple and find out the inside is rotten? Cheap roofing quotes are just like that rotten apple. Quote looks shiny and delicious because it's the cheapest, right? But you wind up with that rotten apple that leaks or starts to fail immediately. All roofing quotes are not equal. Cheap estimates equal cheap materials, subpar labor, or both. For quality that lasts, call us at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
Okay, pumpkin. Who am I? Say, Mama. Mama.
Alexa, play the Tang Tangs.
Tens of millions of songs, one for every moment. Amazon Music Unlimited. For a limited time only, sign up today and receive 3 months for 99 cents at amazon.com/music unlimited. Automatically renews, cancel anytime.
In this tight labor market, finding new employees can be tough. Whether you're the business owner or an HR professional, you want access to highly qualified candidates fast. More than 3 million businesses use Indeed.com, the world's #1 job site. Whether you need entry-level or highly skilled employees, no matter the industry, with Indeed you get immediate access to a high-quality pool of talent with no long-term contracts or upfront fees. For a limited time, Indeed is offering new users a $50 credit to make their first job listing a sponsored job with premium visibility so more candidates will see it. You want to make a great hire fast, and this exclusive offer gives you a head start. Independent research shows 6 times more hires are delivered through Indeed than any other job site, making Indeed your one-stop source for hiring. To redeem this offer, go to Indeed.com/offer. That's Indeed.com/offer. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer. 574-4100. And presented by TNT Supercenter in Thomasville, Georgia. And Franklin Spring Creek Ford. Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
At Jay Cameron Show, just a reminder of how worthy that 2014 team was is a tweet to the effective college football playoff Florida State-Oregon matchup. Yeah, the result of that game has nothing to do with the worthiness of being a top 4 team, of which Florida State certainly was.
Yeah, but the one thing I would say there is, again, the committee is not afraid to say, listen, I don't care what your record says. You're part of this group, but I don't believe you're the best.
Right.
Isn't that something that we all do ourselves anyway?
Well, this is an argument I made a while back when I think one time we were arguing about this, or maybe I was arguing with somebody else, where I don't have a problem with that. I'm okay with them saying, this is who we think are the best 4 teams in this order, and yeah, maybe you disagree. That's okay, but here's what we know up to this point. And the problem is, though, when it starts getting at the time, it was getting somewhat egregious, right? Where we were sitting back going, really? You're going to seriously contemplate leaving a team that's undefeated out?
Well, they had us at 4, I think, right?
Yeah,
and that was the Georgia Tech leak. When they said they never get the rankings.
Right,
and we're getting live, and it was on SportsCenter at 6 o'clock, 2 hours before the show.
Well, and the other problem with that is that it sent us out to California, which I was happy to do, but in essence, that turned out to be an away game and really was nonsense.
Yeah. And a game that, obviously without the turnovers, we're still hanging in there. But
it's not even hanging in. Florida State's going down the field to score and take the lead in the third quarter when Dalvin Cook fumbles. If he scores, I've maintained and will continue to maintain Florida State wins the game. I do believe that's going to happen. Now, you can disagree with me, and that's fine. I got you. We'll never know. He did fumble. They did recover it. They did go down and score. We ended up getting blown out. But that series of 3 turnovers in 17 minutes or 4 turnovers in 17 minutes changed everything.
Right. In general, I tend to agree with, and I did that year, that, if you're winning 20 or whatever straight in that moment, I don't care that you're saying this year only has.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
No,
man.
because the way that Alabama gets or how about this one? The way Clemson got to look over Miami this year says it all, right? I mean, there are 2 reasons. 1, entertainment value so people can get mad and scream at each other. Or 2, they're giving the nod to Clemson, even though Clemson lost to Syracuse because of Clemson's cachet and what they've seen in years previous.
Right.
However, what Oregon was putting on the field prior to our game against Oregon was not impressive. So I don't know. Plus, it had a loss. So I don't know what the hell that was all about.
Well, I've gotten to a place where we've watched it all play out enough times to know that 9 times out of 10, if not more, it works itself out, especially when you have games. I never really get upset where teams are slated to play one another, and they're within that ranking group, and people are upset about the location of said team. Like, as in, why are they, 2 and they're 3, or they're 1 and they're 4, if they're still going to play before we ever get to the playoffs? Which is what's going to happen with Clemson and Miami. So to me, it's irrelevant at this point. Those 2 are going to play one another. And I'm actually quite looking forward to it. It's weird. There are a lot of, again, it was a central theme on yesterday's show, and it's something that I really long for, and frustrated by. And that is, I'd like to see my team. I'd like to see Florida State having fun. I'd like to see them have fun playing football again. Everything is so damn difficult.
Yeah,
first downs are difficult.
Quickly going back to that Rose Bowl, looking at the play-by-play, it is interesting. It was 18-13 at the time, so if we score, we're taking
the
at
lead.
Minimum a 1-point lead if we go for 2, but likely we're just kicking an extra point there. But it's 18-13 at the half. You have a drop pick. You have the ruling on the field that Jameis comes up short at the goal line.
You also have a pick 6 that's dropped, is what I mean.
Right.
That drop pick is going to the house.
And then Rashad drops the ball just before half, and you miss a long field goal. I mean, so by all rights, you should be up in that game at the half.
You're actually controlling the game. You're actually in a great position because you're running the football effectively, and you've slowed down a potent Oregon offense. It's just that you can't turn it over and keep putting your defense back on the field. Yeah. Listen, I'm not going to go back over that game where it's 2017. We're so far removed from that game now that I would long to be in a playoff game in which we do get our head kicked in because it means we're in a playoff game. It means we're good enough to make a playoff. It's good enough that we would be talked about in that vein, and that would be so profoundly disappointing as opposed to the routine losses we suffer now every week.
Agreed. That's why I look back at this box score instead of looking at Delaware State's 2 deep.
Well, I'm certainly not going to do that at no point. And yes, Florida State to take. It's not even that you're playing Delaware State, which it's 2-8 Delaware State.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bad version of Delaware State.
So I think it's safe to say that Tallahassee game day this weekend at 9 a.m. is going to be a big picture pregame show.
There may not be a mention of a strategic element to this football game. In fact, may not is not correct. There will not be.
Okay, so we'll change our keys to the game segment, keys to the offseason. That's what we'll do?
I think keys to the offseason, keys to the coaching staff changes, keys to I think that's
keys to the defensive coordinator's office.
Okay, so I teased this and never got to it because I do that as a host sometimes like an ass. I was on a show in South Florida where they asked me about what Florida State would do if the offer from Texas A&M turns out to be real, if they are in fact truly interested, and this isn't just Florida State being played by an agent who's looking to get him more money or position another client, whatever it might be. And I said, I don't know what Florida State will do, but I have a suspicion that they're not going to cave here because the threat of Jimbo Fisher leaving for LSU was viewed by many probably as being a very real threat, as that was the one location a lot of people thought that because he had ties to it, he might be willing to look at very seriously and leave Florida State for. If he's still interested in leaving Florida State now for a job like Texas A&M, not to say that it's a bad job. They've got great facilities, rabid fans, and people willing to invest. I think Florida State's a better job, obviously, but it's not a terrible job. The point is, if he's doing that again now after this year, I absolutely understand those in the fan base that say good riddance. I get it now. I'd say, you know what? Have a good one, man. Keep walking. Well, at that point, if that's real, if that's a thing. What would Florida State do as an administration? No, I don't think they're going to pony up even more money and another extension. No, not after this season and not after they've done it each of the last 2 years. No.
Yeah, I agree with you on that front. And we've talked about, what are things that may hinder Coach Fisher if he had a reasonable offer from going to Texas A&M.
Family issues, obviously.
Can we also talk about the elephant in the room? You want to go to the SEC West? That's where you want to go?
Well, at this point, it wouldn't be about the easier path. It would be about starting over. He would just want to be starting over. It would mean that he would be conceding that it's irreparably damaged here to a place that he can't fix it and it's time to start over. Or that's the easier path for him, personally. I'm not telling you what is happening, what will happen, or even what I think is happening behind the scenes. What I am saying is that's what that would tell you, is that he doesn't want to stick around and work to overcome what has been a really ugly situation. I think, and when I say ugly, the wins and losses are ugly, but how we arrived at this place, to me, again, is about the bigger topic, which is that there's a level of toxicity in that locker room that is a problem.
Okay, given the players we have, right, and assuming that, let's just say Jimbo stays, and he brings in 5 to 7 new coaches this offseason. Mm-hmm. And let's put the larger questions thing in neutral. Let's just say you have new bodies in here and new philosophies from your assistant coaches. I mean, there's a high likelihood you could win 10 games next year in the regular season with the talent we have here, right? Given the people you get back from injury?
Yeah, I think so.
So, I mean, even if he didn't change philosophically and he doesn't have the soul-searching moment that Brian Kelly does, if you bring in a new coaching staff here with the talent we have, I mean, next year could easily be a 10-2 type season, right? Even with him there. Like, the idea of irreparably damaged to me is a cop-out. That's my point.
I'm not saying it's irreparably damaged, but I'm saying
not for you to say, but for him to, yes. That's a cop-out. It's easily fixable here. There's a lot of good players here.
I don't know if it's easily fixable. There are a lot of good players here, and they're 3-6.
But you're going to have a staff overhaul. I think that's understood at this point.
I'm just saying you shouldn't be 3-6 right now. It's stunning that you are. So, I mean, the reality here doesn't seem to match the talent. I mean, so I don't know if it's easily fixable. It is fixable. I'm rooting for the guy because I do believe, and I have said this before, that I'm willing and I think he's earned the opportunity for another chance to make the changes necessary and to rebound from this. Whether he can or will and is capable of doing the things to get to a place where this program is back to competing for national championships is a different discussion than winning 9-10 games.
Right.
And that's where we're at. That's a toughie.
Agreed there. But I'm just talking about going from,
being
back
sub 500,
maybe a 6-6 season,
right,
versus
to being a prominent member of college football's best in the top 20.
When you actually play Clemson, it's for the right to go to the ACC title game, not to spoil their right to go to the ACC title game and give NC State hope.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely fascinating. I'm more intrigued right now. So, listen, I don't know if he wants to go or he doesn't. I have no idea. No idea. I know that what I believe is that this season has beaten him down, and how could it not? I just think the demeanor gives that away. His answers to questions give that away. The look on his face on the sideline of games gives it away. This season's been brutal on him personally. But I think that's true of anybody that's going that is a winner, that has always won, that expected to compete for a championship, that was really enthusiastic about this team going into a season. To have this year play out as it has, you can understand why he would be affected that way. So that's not surprising. What I want to learn next is where is his head at? And we'll know soon enough, maybe December the 4th. You'll know soon enough. Is it to pick yourself up by the bootstraps, screw this, never going to happen again, I'm willing to make the changes necessary, and that includes to myself, and let's go? Or is it, Too far gone. We'll call it a day and move on. Best of luck. And at that point, we would part ways, as you've pointed out, I think somewhat amicably. I think we would say, well, thanks for the championship, and sorry it got this way, and best of luck to you.
If it's a pie chart, right, and you're talking about changes necessary, personnel is what percentage of the pie? Like 80 for the assistant coaches?
The assistant coaches, yeah.
I mean, like sometimes I think we make the Jimbo soul-searching, I've got to change what I do thing.
Well,
the bigger piece of the pie, I think it's actually more about the coaches that he brings in here and empowers to do what they need to do.
That's interesting. I think that's something that can carry over to next hour. I'm not sure it's 80 there. I think you could just change out the coaches, but if the head man, who's the singular voice of the program, doesn't change some things about himself, you'll have this problem again down the line.
Chew on that.
It's Jeff Cameron, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the makers of the toughest utility vehicles on earth, can give you the best year-end deal on earth. So let us show you how to get tax savings on your new Mahindra XTV and get cash back and savings up to $2,500 on select clearance models. Plus, get a free roof and Mahindra's 3-year warranty.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Lions soccer camp counselor and as a volunteer for the Tyler Simpkins helmet giveaway. As the November male winner of the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac High School Scholar Athlete of the Month, Leon's Parker Powell is now qualified as a finalist for the Dale Jr. $2,500 end of the year scholarship. To help support our friends at Dale Jr., check them out on the corner of Capitol Circle Northeast and Miccosukee or by visiting online at Dale Earnhardt Jr. BuickGMCCadillac.com.
Wow, this is great. E+.
E+? Is that like A+?
It's better. The E stands for easy.
Easy Plus?
Yep, easy ways to save energy, water, and money from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, your own utilities. The City of Tallahassee Utilities has created easy ways to monitor your account with E+ online. We can pay online, we can check our balance online, compare usage history online, and even take a free online energy audit.
And I see the City of Tallahassee Utilities has created a new smart bill. Once we enroll, we do everything online. Billing, paying, everything. What a time saver. Not to mention saving energy, water, and money.
And when we download the City of Tallahassee Utilities Digitally smartphone app, we can do everything on our phone. Pretty incredible.
Plus, there are new authorized payment locations, like some local gas stations, grocery stores, other city departments, and more.
We can even go to the Renaissance Center at 435 North Macomb Street to pay our bill.
Wow. The E really does stand for easy, doesn't it?
It sure does. E+ from the City of Tallahassee Utilities. Your own utilities.
In this tight labor market, finding new employees can be tough. Whether you're the business owner or an HR professional, you want access to highly qualified candidates fast. More than 3 million businesses use Indeed.com, the world's #1 job site. Whether you need entry-level or highly skilled employees, no matter the industry, with Indeed you get immediate access to a high-quality pool of talent. with no long-term contracts or upfront fees. For a limited time, Indeed is offering new users a $50 credit to make their first job listing a sponsored job, with premium visibility so more candidates will see it. You want to make a great hire fast, and this exclusive offer gives you a head start. Independent research shows 6 times more hires are delivered through Indeed than any other job site, making Indeed your one-stop source for hiring. To redeem this offer, go to Indeed.com/offer. That's Indeed.com/offer. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown at the baseball GM meetings in Orlando today. New Marlins CEO Derek Jeter says the team will listen to trade offers for outfielder Giancarlo Stanton. Jeter also says that doesn't mean Stanton will definitely be on another team in 2018. This year, he led the majors with 59 home runs, 132 runs batted in, and a .631 slugging percentage. Stanton has 10 years and $295 million left on his contract. The Bills are benching quarterback Tyrod Taylor for Sunday's game against the Chargers. Nathan Peterman will be the starter. The Bills are 5-4, but they've lost 2 in a row. There's an NBA doubleheader on ESPN starting at 8 Eastern. First up, the Cavaliers and Hornets in Charlotte, then the 76ers and Lakers in Los Angeles. Karl Anthony Towns of the Timberwolves tells ESPN the NBA should allow the use of medical marijuana. The young nephew of Towns' girlfriend is autistic, and he says he has seen firsthand how some of the properties of marijuana have helped the boy's condition.
Time to upgrade your wardrobe with CT Shirts, the most exquisitely crafted, British-styled, crease-free shirts I've ever worn. One CT shirt normally costs $100. I got you 3 shirts for just $99. Go to ctshirts.com/ESPN. ctshirts.com/ESPN.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Hello, and a fine Balls McWednesday to you and yours. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you get to listen live via the streaming free. Always, don't miss anything, but if you do miss something, we got you covered. All 3 hours going to be posted both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. Email the show if you like, JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's at JCameron Show. WTSM app for your mobile devices, and on YouTube, ESPN Tallahassee. Thanks for watching, everybody. Last night, the Noles win and win big. At home at the TLC Double C, they dominate. Get out to an early lead, cruise to halftime up 50-32. Saw a lot of guys contribute in this game. I think that's the way it's going to be, man. Those constant line changes, if you will. The second half allowed for George Washington, to change the game a little bit. They go into a 2-3 zone. You knew they would because they were having a hard time keeping up, going up and down the floor with the depth of Florida State's talent and speed. And it did pay off a little bit. We went through a scoring drought and turned the basketball over there for a stretch. All of a sudden, the next thing you know, it's a 10-point game, 55-45 with 16 minutes to play. And I'm going, wow, this is good for us. This is actually good for you. I like to see this sort of thing, see how they respond. But Florida State ended up having runs after both of the game moments that saw this thing get close to 10. And after that, basically George Washington never got closer to the 15 points the rest of the way. 87-67 your victory. And I said at the outset, I'll say it again here. I like this team. I think they're going to be interesting. There are going to be times where they're maddening. There are going to be times where they frustrate you. And I think that there'll be times where it can be ugly, where maybe they don't have a guy on a given night or a matchup that's going to allow for them to find the scoring necessary. But I think they love each other. I think they'll play to a system well. I think they'll hustle. They'll play hard. And I think they'll play well enough that we're going to view this team in a good light. I think we're going to look at this group as a group that is going to make the tournament. And right now, it's one game. Don't want to go overboard, but I think that we're going to like what we see out of this group.
Yeah, one thing we learned last night is if we're more athletic than you, we're capable of running you out of the gym. And that's one way you can win, and that's good. That's how you need to beat the teams that you're better than.
You're playing to your personnel. You're playing to what you are. That's the smart thing about what they're doing. You put in a system now where you get up and down because you have skilled players who don't turn it over when they run, not nearly like they used to anyhow, and you play to their strengths. And you also create easy baskets that way. So they're playing to their strengths right now and something that those kids believe in. That's why they're fun. That's why you can invest is that, hey, I'll tell you what, I guarantee you even in the games they lose this year, they're going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, well, that's they're made to go on quick 6-0, 8-2 runs because of misses or steals. They're really quick on the ball, too, as it gets down the court. They'll challenge you. The question is, for me, and I think Forrest coming back will be big, and they're trying to get him some minutes on Friday when we're down in Jamaica. That was the latest report last night.
That's good news because I love that kid, man. He's fun to watch play.
He was coaching last night. He's standing next to him yelling at the players.
I think that is really part and parcel to what they are, man. They are a system team that believes, and they believe in one another, and there's nobody that you have to defer to.
The question is, if we go play a team that's a little bit more talented, or at least it's imposing its own style, not our style, but the game is played at the other team's pace. How do we look in the half-court sets, both offensively and defensively?
Probably pretty bad at sometimes. I mean, we'll see.
And I wonder, with the dribble drive, do we have guys that can stop? Forrest is our best defender, and Goal, I think, is probably the second best perimeter defender on the team, at least coming into this season. But if they want to drive, can we get in front of them? And if not, and we have to collapse, how good are our team rotations?
Yeah.
How committed are we to team defense and doing what we did in the days of 38 to 40% field goal defense? Because even then, we'd collapse, but then we'd be able to rotate and account for it so damn fast.
Had all that length, get out there and get that arm up. Yeah,
there was hardly an opening for a shot, and that was what was so beautiful about the Junkyard Dog days was that defense when it had to rotate was great.
You missed that stuff, and I know you missed the defensive presence and the way that it wore on people.
Oh yeah,
but I think though, in fairness, elements of that combined with all that we've switched to is a much more enjoyable product.
Agreed. And he made the switch. That's what last year was, too, is like he successfully took it from one place to another.
Well, and 2 years ago, it was a disaster as they were doing this because they never defended anybody. They were soft as tissue paper, and they turned it over. And then you thought, man, I don't know. You gave up something you knew would work to go for this other thing. Can we really recruit the kinds of players you need to recruit to be able to run this without being a turnover machine?
Right.
And we all sat back kind of in horror thinking, did this guy just undo his career? Did he just decide that I'm going to do this other thing
right
because I want to? It's not going to work. We're not going to win enough games, and you're going to get run out of town. And it was close to happening.
Right. Did we turn into Nebraska football trying to run air raid principles instead of, the actual option? And that was my number one criticism. It's like, okay, so we had an identity.
So that would have been funny.
It was an ugly one.
We would have been pointing to him like Callahan. When Callahan took over at Nebraska, and they were like, well, we want to be modern. And to this day, the people in Lincoln are like, Callahan screwed us.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing. Hey, hands up, man. Accountability, 100%. But last year was putting it over the edge. The question to me this year is, since you have less skill overall. Again, MJ Walker might be an X factor in that equation when it comes to jump shooting and the ability to create for himself.
Yeah.
But how do you account for that gap in skill? Are you better on defense? Are you better in your rotations? And do you do a little bit more in the half-court sets where you generate open looks and you knock down some open shots? I mean, you don't have to be as good at driving to the basket if you have more shooters from the perimeter, if you're playing within the constructs of the offense. It's just a lot of fascinating questions, and it should be a fun ride.
So-called positionless basketball, right? It's a lot of fun. And we've had to transition, and we've done a good job with it. I think this is going to be a fun team again. I just believe they'll be overachieving when compared to the expectations that most in this fan base have for them currently. And it's not just because I can be a cheerleader. I mean, I can for this program because I always feel like they for a long time they got the short end of the stick, and I'd like to see them overachieve, which by and large they have.
Well, okay, so back in the day for the Junkyard real quick, see, the thing I loved, and there were a couple of possessions last night, but when you're outgunning somebody athletically, it's going to happen, where a team just looks exasperated by the time there's, say, 10 to 7 seconds left in the shot clock, and they've tried to go through one or two things, and we're just game. And you could see the frustration, like when Thad Matta came to his presser after the ACC Big Ten.
Red, sweating profusely, looking like he was about to pass out.
He looked like Alec Baldwin on the driving range in The Departed, just sweating profusely. Yeah.
Problem is Ohio State won that game.
They did. but I enjoy the hell out of those moments. But I also enjoy going on 6 or 8-2 runs, just like that, when we're a couple of quick steals and the team looks completely overwhelmed and they just don't have an answer for you.
Outlet pass, and it's boom, boom. The ball never hits the floor. It's above the room. There's a hammer. Get you some. The place catches fire. All of a sudden, you're back on defense with the hand clap.
Right.
Ready to roll. Yeah, man.
There are a couple of possessions last night where you're looking for what translates, right? It's like trying to look at a tailback in college and saying, well, that translates to the NFL.
That works for the NFL, yeah.
There was one last night, an outlet pass. I think it was Kofor, but it went to man, and then it went to Fiondu for the jam. And I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
That will translate against the best. The question is, how consistently can we clean the glass like that to get us out and going?
Somebody tweeted it to me, and it's funny. Sometimes we, as the interactive group, the family that is the Jeff Cameron Show, whether it's me as a host, you as a producer, and the listeners and the interactions and Twitter and email, we're all on the same page, just collectively kind of watching something. A lot of times we're not, but sometimes we are. And last night somebody tweeted at me, damn, Brandon Allen's got to be like 57 years old. This guy's still on the team. What are we doing here? And they didn't mean it like meanly towards Brandon Allen, but when he's out there, you're going, still on the team, are you? All right. And you know this one thing. If right now I were to call over and get a hold of Ham and they patch me through and he said, what, Jeff? I'm trying to conduct practice. What is it you need? And I said, Brandon Allen. And he said, he's my best perimeter defender.
Yeah,
that's exactly what he would say.
Absolutely.
He would say it. And even if it's not true, because it's not, that's what he would say.
Yeah.
And he would hang up.
Yeah. He'll be as bald as you before he graduates, Brandon Allen.
He's going to be. And Ham will be of the firm belief that he is a lockdown defender that entire time. And I'm not saying he can't defend. It's just, it cracks me up.
Well, I think if Forrest is in that starting lineup, perhaps he's the guy whose minutes might diminish a little bit.
You think?
Right.
I tend to agree. Yeah. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the world's #1 selling tractor, can give you the #1 year-end deal. Let us show you how to get tax savings on the toughest tractors on earth and get up to $7,400 in discounts along with Mahindra's 7-year warranty. Plus, get an Emax 22 with mid-mower for just $134 a month.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
$7 domestic pitchers after 7 p.m. 7 days a week, $7.95. Daily specials. Locally owned and operated since 1978. Hobbit American Grill keeps it local with a wide variety of locally crafted beers plus a full bar. Hobbit American Grill. 3 locations to choose from. 400 Capitol Circle Southeast, 2020 West Pensacola Street, and 5032 Capitol Circle Southwest. Visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
Get your weekend started right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Saturdays at 6 a.m. with Fishing Florida Radio. Listen to the 3 amigos, Boudreaux, Steve Chapman, and Captain Mike Ortega as they catch you up to speed on what's new and biting in the North Florida region. Big-time guests, celebrities, interviews, and 3 hours of the fishing info you need. Fishing Florida Radio is brought to you by Sea Quarters Marina off Highway 98 in Carabel. Sea Quarters Marina, your full-service marina, and presented by Hobbit American Grill, locally owned and operated since 1978.
Hey, Fido!
Yes, bud?
Hey, have you heard about that Hair of the Dog sports bar?
Yeah, it's all everyone's been barking about. It's Midtown's #1 sports bar with over 50 TVs, burgers, loaded nachos and wings, and a massive bar. Plus, Hair of the Dog is human-friendly, but you gotta keep them on a leash.
Sounds like a great place to watch those human teams play catch.
You mean football? Hair of the Dog Sports Bar, Midtown, North Monroe behind Brugger's. Best drink prices and juiciest burgers in town. Sexy French poodles welcome.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, introducing Nissan's Express Service. Express Service means oil changes in 45 minutes or less, with no appointment necessary. Here's how it works. When you come to Kraft Nissan for an oil change, you're greeted by a dedicated Express Service advisor. Sign the advisor's iPad and have a seat in our waiting room. A team of 2 lube technicians will immediately take your car directly to service and complete the oil change. And remember, Kraft Nissan services all makes and models. We sell tires for less. Compare us to the box stores and compare us to the tire stores. We'll beat their price. Plus, new tires come with free rotations for the life of the tires. We also have our Value Advantage line of parts that are priced to compete with aftermarket and parts stores, but still have full Nissan factory warranty. So competitively priced that Kraft Nissan will give you a 30-day price match guarantee in writing. And we offer the Kraft Nissan service card, same as cash for 6 months on purchases over $299.
So give us a try. Oil changes in 45 minutes or less and no appointment necessary. Just stop by.
Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Service card with approved credit.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I love that. So I've embraced the turnover chain, right? I can do that. I can loathe Miami football and embrace the turnover chain, Tom. No, what I'm embracing is the joy with which they play the game. And that's infectious. When you watch it, it makes you happy for kids. Makes you happy that they're having fun. Now, I wish it wasn't happening, but it is, and I'm not going to fail to acknowledge it. So, it's happening, and they are having fun, and it's something that they embrace and celebrate, and it's hard not to smile when you see a kid racing off the field after yet another interception, and coaches and players waiting on him to get over there to put on the chain. They're having so much fun, and we never do, ever have any damn fun. And so I'm envious of it. And what it represents in terms of the joy that they have in playing the game of football right now. So I brought that up. And, sure, it ruffles some feathers. Florida State faithful saying, come on, man. What are you doing? I can't hate it just because it's produced by Miami. I'd like to, but...
You would have in your 20s.
Maybe. But I've always liked... Because football is hard, and I played enough football to know that it's really, really, really hard, and that's not condescending. I'm saying we've all worked hard at something, and you want to be rewarded, and it's joyous when it happens. And the game is your reward because practice sucks always. It's never fun. And workouts at 5 o'clock in the morning before, going to class and then eating, trying to gain weight and doing everything you do to put your body through just so you can play in a game, whether that be as a 10-year-old kid or on Friday nights in high school or on Saturdays in college or Sundays in the NFL. All that work is hard. And, yeah, I hear people say you got to embrace that. You got to love that. You got to want it. Man, I can want it, but usually it's to an end. It's to the, well, I get to go play this game because I'm doing all of this, and I love this game, and my reward is that. So I'll do this 5 o'clock workout, and I'll eat this food, and I'll refrain from that party, So I better go have some damn fun with the guys that are sacrificing with me is my point. And when we're laying it on the line, we get to have that fun. We get to have that joy. You're not stripping that from me, and that's what that represents. So anyhow, I bring that up to say this. I thought, well, what could we do? Well, people on Twitter responded, and somebody brought up like actual turnovers on my Twitter feed. When a defensive player gets a turnover, they are awarded with a delicious apple or cherry turnover to munch on the sidelines.
Oh.
Yeah, actual turnovers.
Going literal, huh?
Yeah, going literal. And so they can share it with their friends and teammates if they so choose. They are allowed to eat it, maybe a combination of cherry and apple to represent our colors of garnet and gold. I don't know. But then others jumped on board and said, yeah, so if we got turnovers, fans could throw turnovers onto the bench, and we could catch them and eat them in celebration of all these turnovers.
There'd be vomiting all over the field.
It'd be great.
See,
turnovers are kind of small.
I do like, perhaps unintentionally, the go there of the listener, of the Twitter follower, because they took something literally. And then they applied it literally, which is something that happens all the time on Twitter. So good job. Way to apply it, though, in a positive
way.
Once upon a time, though, the tomahawk on the helmet used to be something that was a reward for playing, right?
Yeah. Now I think you just get them. Just being on the team.
A couple players who have been starters who, if you look there,
not a lot of them.
Kind of bare.
Too many guys who I frequently see doing nothing with all kinds of tomahawks. Man, that guy's a tomahawk machine. Where are all these plays that I never see him make?
Maybe they should just put different emojis on the helmet for how good or bad moments. You know, it's like, so you have the angry emoji if you have a blown coverage or a loaf.
Well, the L could be for loaf instead of loser. I thought yesterday when I mentioned, or whenever it was, Tom, I'm losing track now. Was it Monday that I was saying you put the L on that helmet?
It was Monday.
Jimbo could wear the L on the sleeve on the coach's shirt. Yeah, so we were just slapping L's all over here.
Yeah.
So that upset some people. Not terribly so. I mean, people are offended by everything. But I mean, like they thought, man, that's a bit much. Maybe the L wouldn't be for loser, but rather for loaf. That's less harsh.
Yeah, the loser is a little bit, I'm
not saying in life.
Yeah.
It's not in life.
That
not
feels
everything is a referendum on your character.
Sure. I feel like that might be something you apply to a professional athlete versus a college athlete. But yes,
I'm not actually suggesting we put L's on people's helmets and pads and everything else. I'm saying, in the hypothetical. So if it upsets you, even in the hypothetical, that I'm putting L's on people for their losses, losing plays that we frequently make, instead, why don't we just put the L on there for the loafs? We'll identify those in the film room.
I think everybody can get down with that.
Yeah, that's what you get. You get that L for that loaf.
Just put it on the helmet. You have a section for loafs and a section for the tomahawks.
And then you're looking over there, you're like, look at all those loafs. Kid's a loafing fool.
Yeah, but if you make a great play, you can remove a loaf or add a tomahawk. You have a choice.
I would remove the loaf.
Right, exactly.
I would get that L off my helmet as quick as possible.
Yes.
You don't want 57 L's on there. They're like, well, that's great. You got a lot of tomahawks. What are those L's?
I mean, think about it. Once upon a time, and by that I mean about 2 or 3 months ago, the talking point was that, hey, nobody wanted to wear orange in practice, right? Because it was poor effort. And that was our reward system, was that, you had the white jersey, the garnet jersey, and then the orange jersey for depending upon how you played in practice.
Didn't seem to resonate.
No.
Didn't really, wasn't one of those things that people were terrified of or changed their behavior. Yeah, getting through to the kids, Tom, another critical element.
See, maybe you could have the golden gloves. Like if you make a play on defense, you could put on the golden gloves.
You get to wear the golden gloves?
But they're Nike gloves, so it's still within, the school's
And they give you
rules.
some golden gloves?
Right.
Like, look at that. Matthew Thomas out there with a golden glove.
He must have done something.
He did something great last series. Look at him. Look at those golden gloves. They look sharp on him.
Yeah.
Some guys can pull off the golden gloves. Others not so much. It's like white guys trying to wear purple. You just can't do it. So that'd be, you put on the golden gloves.
Yeah, the golden gloves. Or how about a golden neck roll?
We're going back to the neck rolls.
Yeah. What is old is new again.
Maybe you get to wear the half shirt in the tearaway.
Oh, there it is.
You get to wear the tearaway half shirt.
James Wilder Jr. would want to be on defense yesterday.
He's like, I'm making plays out here. I can't wait to Wear my half shirt
No,
tearaway.
Coach, I never wanted to play tailback. I want to play linebacker.
Let me don that half shirt.
I bet I'd be pretty good at it.
That tearaway. Going to make plays out here. Couple it with a golden glove if you actually cause a turnover. So now you got a half shirt and golden gloves on.
Okay, well, yeah, how about, yes, you get the gloves if it's a pick, but if you force a fumble, the hand you force the fumble with is the golden
glove.
Yeah.
So we got a golden glove and a half shirt tearaway, and we're a George Michael video, man.
Yeah.
Come on. I'm saying, I don't know what you would do. You got to create something. And I don't know what that something is, but I am envious of the joy with which Miami players race to that sideline.
I got it.
To wear the chain.
I got the answer. How about a wad of cash? Just give them a wad of cash.
Come get your money.
Yeah.
Come get your money. How great would it be if Florida State had such blatant disrespect for the NCAA and the powerless entity that they've become, that they just have a dude with a bucket of cash that's sitting there, and when the player makes a play, they're just waving 20s. Come on, come get your 20s.
You remember the whiteboard when they were playing Hangman when we were that good?
Yeah.
All right, there's a whiteboard that has a conversion system, so it's like scoop and score is a certain amount.
That's 100 bones.
A pick on fourth down, actually, you have to pay money.
And a one-possession game in the fourth quarter.
Right, there's a sliding scale.
There's a serious amount of money to be made.
So then Vic has like the teller hat on, you know? He has to punch it in because there has to be receipts.
And he holds it up and jumps up and down as they come racing over off the field, and all the players surround it, and the coaches are hopping.
It's like they open the briefcase and like, all right, then they stack
Hand out
it down.
that cash, baby. Let's go. The boosters would want to be part of it. They're like, I want to contribute to the goodness that is the cash on the sidelines for big plays. I want to come out from underneath this rock and hand over this money, and I want it designated somehow. Maybe my name could be on it as you hand it to that young man for winning plays.
Now, if you have 5 defensive touchdowns in one season, the pick sixes or scoop and scores, then the booster is allowed to drive a car onto the field.
Like, go get in your Mercedes. Go get in that Mercedes that's in the tunnel. And you just see a player sprinting to the tunnel to jump in their Mercedes while the fans jump up and down and go nuts.
Right, and on the other sideline, Miami players, they take off the chain and they chuck it to the ground.
Like, this is fake.
It's plastic.
This chain is garbage. They're giving out cars over there. How the hell are we supposed to beat that? These kids will give their lives. They're getting a brand new Mercedes. We got a fake-ass chain.
Now that's called escalation.
Yeah, that's what you do right there. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the makers of the toughest utility vehicles on earth, can give you the best year-end deal on earth. So let us show you how to get tax savings on your new Mahindra XTV and get cash back and savings up to $2,500 on select clearance models. Plus, get a free roof and Mahindra's 3-year warranty.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
50% off almost everything in store. And there will be giftspiration everywhere you look, like our gift bar, home goods, and kids department too. Beat the Black Friday rush with pre-Thanksgiving super savings. Goodies. What will new bring out in you? Goodies is part of our Stage family. Offer exclusions apply.
Parker Brothers Roofing says don't play games with your roof. Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth. We'll fix your roof, cause it's what we do. With quality, integrity, and pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Customers constantly tell us that they're getting several estimates to compare apples to apples. You ever bite into an apple and find out the inside is rotten? Cheap roofing quotes are just like that rotten apple. Quote looks shiny and delicious because it's the cheapest, right? But you wind up with that rotten apple that leaks or starts to fail immediately. All roofing quotes are not equal. Cheap estimates equal cheap materials, subpar labor, or both. For quality that lasts, call us at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
At Whole Foods Market, we believe in real food. Food that's full of nutrients. Naturally vivid and colorful, fresh and delicious. Food that connects you to your body, to the seasons, and to the natural world. We believe food should nourish you and help you think. It should help you feel calm, clear-headed, and strong. It should help you do more, sleep better, and wake up happier. That's food that lives up to its name. We believe in real food. Whole Foods Market.
Okay, pumpkin. Who am I? Say, Mama. Mama.
Alexa, play the Tang Tangs.
Tens of millions of songs, one for every moment. Amazon Music Unlimited. For a limited time only, sign up today and receive 3 months for 99 cents at amazon.com/music unlimited. Automatically renews, cancel anytime.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Show 97.9 ESPN Radio. Hey, beer 30? Yes, I do believe it is. If you would, kind sir, let's cue that sucker up.
Count 'em up, pour 'em out.
I'll just have a cup of coffee.
There it is. It's Beer 30, brought to you by the 7th Hill Tap Room on Appalachie Parkway.
State Worker Wednesday. We salute you, state workers. Go get yourself a tasty beverage at the 7th Hill Tap Room.
With happy hour specials all night long. And for those of you who are part of the Cup Club that we've been pushing for weeks on end,
Cup Club.
Your benefits kick in at 7 p.m. and run till the close of business.
Well, and you save all kinds of money. It pays for itself. And by this weekend, you will have understood why it was you purchased that Cup Club.
Well, I mean, just saying, we'll be there on Friday. At the 7th Hill Tap Room.
That's right, even for a matchup against Delaware State.
Yep, that's right.
All right.
Well, it could just be a pregame show for the 6 p.m. tip for, FSU
basketball
and Fordham.
I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, that'll be a good time.
More than I am the matchup against Delaware State.
A little bit of hard water and the hard court.
Well played. Well played. You and that hard water.
It's delicious.
I don't think that it's delicious, Tom. I think it's that, it's a worthy purchase at the right time of day in the right situation, but I don't think that you're drinking it because you're thinking to yourself, this is delicious in the way that a porter elicits that response. I think it's just out of necessity, circumstance, right? I think it's just more, well, let's keep ourselves refreshed and hydrated, but we would like to indulge a little. But I can't go all in on an IPA here. How about a little hard water?
Well, I think there is some truth to that because you can have 2 or 3 of those bad boys and it's not a huge deal.
But what I'm saying is I think you can concede that it's not really about the deliciousness.
No, I don't know. It's refreshing and delicious.
It's not. It's refreshing, and it doesn't taste bad, but it's not delicious. You see what I'm saying?
No.
I think you do. You just don't want to admit it. I can tell.
Oh, that's good, man. Real good.
Well, all right. So good is not delicious. I'll concede that.
Real
there
good.
we go. We're going to meet in the middle. We're going to meet in the middle here.
Very good.
No, now we're getting a little crazy. Oh, by the way, this is my discussion that I had earlier today. We're going to segue to this. I did this afternoon with Joe Buck's fan. We started to talk about Jameis and some other things, and I did that interview for what we do. Tom and I host a podcast called The Scuttlebucks.
That's correct.
And it's really good. And it's on, you can find it on iTunes and the like, and you should listen to it and like it and celebrate it and hand it off to your friends and tell everybody you've ever met that The Scuttlebucks dominates and go listen to it. So that's great and all, but I thought it was at least applicable here because we were talking about not just that win, but also long-term, that staff. We wanted to segue to a little NFL. And this happened earlier today. So when you hear me mention in the course, I do believe you'll hear me mention in the course of the interview, the show, The Scuttlebucks. That's what the hell I'm talking about. I don't want you to think he's gone crazy. And with that, I'll go get a cup of coffee. We'll play this interview and be back live with you momentarily. Hey, Lee, how are you?
All right. Well, winning is the ultimate cologne. I'm surprised Charlie Sheen hasn't marketed a cologne called Winning. You would have no idea the Bucks were still gunning for a top 10 draft pick after this win Sunday, ugly as it was. That's how bad and how desperate this team needed a win and was looking forward to a win.
Two things kind of stand out here. One, I thought of you because I know how happy you were to see Doug Martin get 2.6 yards per carry. Really lighting it up in this one. Another stellar performance on 20 carries for 51 yards. Not his fault. I just like bringing it up because it pisses Tom off and it makes you happy.
Well, to be clear, I actually like Doug Martin. I really get along with him. I've got a good rapport about him. And like I tell a lot of Bucs fans, like, oh, you hate Doug Martin. I said, no, I hate non-production. It's nothing to do with Doug Martin. It's all about production, or in this case, non-production. But okay, go ahead. Number two.
And then the other thing, of course, is we continue to be impressed by Mr. Godwin, who had a good game here. And, that is something to be excited about because when you're looking at the future, you're looking at the young guys and you're talking about guys you think you can win with, and you're trying to identify those players. And he's a guy that the Bucs get in the draft. And you're never really sure about young receivers, but there are a number of signs now, and it's not just this game, it's been coming, where you see him as a guy that is a big-time option moving forward, and when Jameis gets healthy and this team's in a better place, he's going to be a big part of that production, so that's exciting.
Yeah, it is, and you know what? The two receivers entering this past spring's draft that I thought I knew the Bucs were eyeing, and I didn't know, depending on the circumstances, who got drafted when, et cetera. The two guys I was looking at were Curtis Samuel with the Panthers, who Panthers actually drafted, and of course Godwin. And Samuel, although he gets more playing time than Godwin, in my eyes, he hasn't really jumped out
because he drops the ball all the time.
That too, and now obviously he's hurt and he's on injured reserve. And Godwin, this is his first start, and you always wonder, a rookie making his first start, and he was in a log jam at receiver. He wasn't going to get. Adam Humphries told me about this. Adam Humphries is considered a veteran now. Even Adam Humphries said, "Look, I know my targets are going to go down because we have Deshaun Jackson. I get that. I want to win. I'm all for it." So obviously, Godwin was not going to get a whole lot of chances unless Jackson got hurt, unless Humphries got hurt or Evans got hurt. Well, this time Evans was suspended, so Godwin got the opportunity. And there's always that question mark. Okay, guy gets his first start. He's a rookie. How's he going to do? He didn't look like a rookie to me. And he impressed the Bucs so much that Carter gave him the game ball for offense.
Another good thing, and I grant you, and I don't like to just, besmirch a win because there have been so few of them this year, but, the Bucs have been poor on defense. You look 3 of the last 4 games, it's been a bit of a nightmare, and yet they held the Jets to 3 points, basically, for 59 minutes of this game. So, I mean, that too is something to be excited about. I don't know. Week to week, I find this to be difficult now because I think a lot of us have checked out. But the other thing to say is that the Bucs hadn't checked out. They played hard. So that's a good sign because we were beginning to question that.
Oh, yeah. And, I was my gosh, Chris Conte told me on the record, basically guys were checking out. Doug Martin told me on the record, guys didn't want to win. And that's pretty damning when 2 veteran players, I know a lot of people don't like Conte, but he's a veteran. When 2 veteran players say that on the record, I had my tape recorder or my phone right in front of their face when they said it, and it was a one-on-one interview. So it wasn't like they were, direct messaging me on Twitter or something like that. It was very out in the open, and that I'm not even factoring in the stuff I heard off the record. I was like, this is going downhill quick. So that was very encouraging. And I know you're leading me up to the dust-up that happened on the sideline between Quan Alexander and Ayers.
Right.
Basically, it was and I thought I'm old school football, so I have to preface it. But the flag that Chris Baker got popped for the roughing the quarterback, roughing the passer, I thought that was borderline call. But then again, I go back to the 70s when you clothesline people coming over the middle.
Sure.
That was okay. So that's where I'm coming from. But Baker, they had the Jets off the field on their last drive. Baker gets flagged, and the Jets, wind up getting a touchdown, their only touchdown of the game. And the players were so hacked off of that, they almost had a brawl on the sidelines going after Baker. I mean, that showed that the pilot light is still on there, that they actually cared. And that was in deep question prior to the game with the stuff players were saying on the record and with stuff I was hearing off the record. That was very much in doubt that the players even gave a damn. It was almost like they checked out on Cutter. But apparently they have not. And that is an encouraging sign. Now let's see what they do this week. That's great. You beat Josh McCown. Great. That's fine. You had a great defensive effort. Well, let's see that on the road for a change. I think this is a fair question with Mike Smith. I love Mike Smith, but I can't look the other way and even, con myself into saying he's done a competent job. He's not done a competent job. Great guy, awesome guy, but just, he hasn't gotten the job done this year. Why does it take Mike Smith half the season to figure things out? If you assume they have things figured out now, again, they beat the Jets.
It's the Jets, my man.
Great. Let's see them. Let's see what they do on the road for a change. On the road, the Bucs defense is averaging a ghastly 32 points a game. That's average, mind. That's horrible. So the Dolphins, they're wounded prey right now. The Dolphins are spiraling. They're circling the drain. Let's see what the Bucs can do this Sunday on the road. So it's an encouraging win. It was very encouraging. The players still have a pulse on the defense. It was encouraging that the defense shut the Jets down. Let's see them do that again on the road before I would start becoming a believer. But I think it's a fair question to ask. Why does it take Mike Smith, if you assume they turn the corner, why does it take him half a season? If that's the case this year, you could make just a very good argument that the fact that he hasn't figured things out in the first half of each season has cost this team dearly.
Lita Kemper, JoeBucksFan.com, joining us now on the Scuttle Bucks. Talk a little bit. Have you had an opportunity to talk about Levante David or talk to Levante David? He's having a huge year. He's forcing turnovers, making big plays. Yeah, well, that's what I was wondering about, because there are some bright spots, and he's certainly been one of them. And Tom and I talked about it last year. We didn't have this show, the Scuttlebucks, to talk about it, but we talked about it in other formats where it looked like Levante David was maybe his best days were on the verge of being behind him. He's a different cat this year. He's played really well. He's been consistent, and he's forcing turnovers.
Well, you and Tom are like me. I was starting to think last year, it's not exactly he's a young guy. Maybe we've seen his best days, but I'm happy to say that I was wrong in my initial judgment there. He's a Pro Bowl year, no question about it, if not all Pro year. He leads the league in forced fumbles, and mind you, he missed 2 games because of injury, and he still leads the league in forced fumbles. He's rock solid, and this leads me into something else, and another bright spot with this team. I was always harping on, okay, you don't have a pass rush. Start sending Levante David on a pass rush. He can do it. He showed he could do it with Shiano. Why not do it now? Let's use the guy. Use his skills. You have no pass rush to speak. Well, not to speak of. You don't have a pass rush. So try something different. Try Levante David. And instead, Mike Smith, maybe he was channeling. I know he reads our site, JoeBucksFan.com. Maybe he was channeling me. I don't know. But he started sending Kendall Beckwith, a different linebacker, and the results were there. And today, just a little earlier today, I know we're recording this on Wednesday, a little earlier today, I asked Mike Smith about rushing Beckwith. And he said, well, we've actually been doing that for 5 games. The problem is the other team always had 3rd and short, so we never had an opportunity to send them on passing down, which, duly noted.
Yeah, no, and by the way, you mentioned Kendall Beckwith, whom we love, and he's been exciting to watch, and I'm glad he was able to recover from the injury that he came to the Bucs with, basically, and has become an impact player. And anytime you get a guy that late in the 3rd round, you feel excited. We were talking off the air, you and I, Lee, beforehand. We kind of you look at this franchise and you try to figure out where it's going. You try to figure out what they need, what they can do to get better, and that includes from the top on down. You look at whether or not Dirk Cutter will be back, whether or not Jason Light will be back, but in terms of the players you can win with moving forward in this latest draft as well, we just got done talking about Godwin. Now you're talking about Kendall Beckwith. Obviously, Jeremy McNichols didn't make it, but Justin Evans and Howard certainly appear promising. I think that this is going to be looked upon when you look at Howard, Evans, Godwin, Beckwith, your first 4 picks in the draft. You're going to feel pretty good about that at this season's end.
And sure, and you could argue, a couple years ago, that Steve Isbit's coined the phrase "the Grand Slam" when he had Jameis, Marpet, Donovan Smith. I know a lot of people don't like Donovan Smith. By the way, he had a decent game Sunday. I give him credit. He manned up, and Quan Alexander. So, overall, I think Jason's done a good job with the draft. That's a position you're going to make mistakes. I mean, I heard Bill Polian talk about this one time, but a first-round pick is like 53 or 54% bust rate. Or not, I'm sorry, just over 50% that he's going to make it. And that's a first-round pick. So that's a position you're going to make. You're going to make mistakes, and unfortunately, Jason's biggest mistake was the monster swing and a miss on Aguayo. And it wasn't so much that he swung and missed on Aguayo, it's who he could have had that he missed. He didn't select because he drafted Aguayo. Real quick, I want to get back to Levani David. I know that he's a great guy. Obviously, he's defensive MVP, maybe, and I'll get to that in a second when I say maybe. It's not a great quote, but Levani David is an absolute rock. And who knows where this team would be without him? But I don't know who's the MVP of this defense, him or Brent Grimes. You can make an argument that, again, arguably the best defensive showing they had this year outside the Patriots game, Grimes came back to play. And he played significantly, had a big pick. And here, speaking of that, I was talking to T.J. Ward about this after the game Sunday, and I talked to him this morning again. T.J. Ward, whatever play that was with the Jets, T.J. Ward recognized it. He was ready for on the play that Grimes had the interception when McCown threw it way down the middle of the field. Well, T.J. Ward recognized the play, and he was telling me this Sunday. He looked at Grimes and he mouthed they had a special name for the play. He mouthed it, and Grimes apparently recognized it too. And Grimes nodded his head and mouthed the name of the play back. So both those guys were ready for it because they're vets. They've seen so much.
Well, now the Bucs can beat the Dolphins if they can on the road, and it'll be a 2-game win streak after a 5-game slide. And I don't know, slowly but surely people will begin to feel good. I won't necessarily because the Jets and the Dolphins both suck. But that's all right. Wins are better than losses unless you're hoping for a much better draft pick. And if you want to have fun with statistics, the Bucs cut in half their opportunity to be drafting in that top 10 with a victory over the weekend. And a lot of people are probably saying out loud at their TVs, guys, once the season's awash, can we perfect tanking, please?
Well, here's one about tanking, and I didn't come up with this idea, but it makes all the sense in the world. My business partner and Joe Bucks fan, Steve Isbitz, he came up with it and wrote about it yesterday. Let's say the Bucks run a tank for a top 5 pick, and Jameis gets healthy enough to play, let's say, at some point in December. Knowing Jameis' mentality, what do you think would go through his head if Cutter and Jason Light sat him down like, you know what, Jameis, we know you can play, but we're going to have you sit out the season. We're worried about a draft pick. We're going to look at the long term. Just don't worry about it. The season's over with for you. Just get that shoulder healthy. He probably is going through his mind like, I'm never re-signing with this team again. As soon as my contract's up, I'm gone. That is so contrary to this guy's DNA. And it's an interesting thought. What would go through Jameis's mind if they told him we're shutting you down for the season, not so much for your shoulder, but we want that draft pick?
Well, you certainly would never couch it that way, first of all. And secondly, if there's still something wrong in next week after with the shoulder at all, and you're in a season now that I think all acknowledge is not going to be playoff one. Well, if there's anything wrong at all, then there's no reason to come back. I mean, I think as an organization, if you remove the conversation of tanking and you just talk about what's best for your franchise moving forward, if the swelling isn't all the way down and he can't make certain plays, but he also is not at risk to do more damage, that to me isn't the equivalent to being completely healthy. It just means you can't do more damage. But what are you playing for? I don't understand it. Get right. Get completely right. Get 100% healthy in time for OTAs. Let's chalk this up for what it is and move on. And by the way, along the way, you achieve the unstated goal of tanking.
I absolutely agree. And Steve's premise was if Jameis was actually healthy, then you go up there we just want to play it safe, and that's everything against that guy's DNA. He would go bananas if he knew he could get on the field.
I think it's likely that obviously he'll play if they deem him to be completely healthy. You're right, he'll play, and It'll be interesting to see. I think if he gets back on the field, it will be important for him to play well. Right now, because regardless of whether you think it's fair or applicable in this situation, the truth of the matter is he wasn't playing great the last time we saw him. So whether it's injury or not, that's the lasting memory people have. And it's a "what have you done for me lately" league. And that's just the way that fans certainly are. That's the way a lot of times the press is. And that's the way sometimes teammates can be as well. Well,
and even ownership.
That's right. So it's a "what have you done for me lately" league. And if he gets back on the field and they declare him healthy and he confirms it and his people say, yeah, he is, he's got to go out there and play well because he still has weapons. and there would be games to win. It may be fruitless in the playoff push, but he would need to play well and kind of reestablish what it is we already know about him, which is that he is a franchise quarterback. And on his great days, he's truly one of the elite quarterbacks in the league. And on his good days, he's certainly well above average. So you need that guy. You need to know moving forward that that's who you have. I think that's who we have. But a lot of people, short memories, especially since he wasn't playing well. Lee, always appreciate it, buddy. Good talking to you.
Hey, same here, Jeff. As always, have a good one.
All right, you too. Take care. Lee DeKemper, Joe Bucks fan.
So many mouths to feed on the farm. The son who was second to the last one born.
It's that time of year again where you have to shop for the naughty and the nice. Make it easy. Super Lube it and get rewarded with a free oil change. Right now, visit any of the 19 area Super Lube locations, buy 3 oil changes, and get 1 free. Keep it or give that free oil change to a car lover on your list. Hurry in and make shopping easy with a free oil change from Super Lube. You'll be glad you did.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the makers of the toughest utility vehicles on Earth, can give you the best year-end deal on Earth. So let us show you how to get tax savings on your new Mahindra XTV and get cash back and savings up to $2,500 on select clearance models. Plus, get a free roof and Mahindra's 3-year warranty.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Rose Street or call them at 222-2532.
The coast is here. Wharf Casual Seafood is a family-friendly restaurant serving high-quality fresh seafood at a great value since 1986. Wharf Casual Seafood's philosophy is that seafood can be affordable, fast, and top-notch quality all at the same time. No one brings families together like Wharf Casual Seafood. Visit their Tallahassee locations on Bannerman Crossing and the newly opened Mahan location at the Costco shopping area. Open 7 days a week. Visit wharfcasualseafood.com for more information or to order online. No need to drive when the coast is here.
Wonder what the outrageously energizing experience of Mountain Dew Kickstart is like? Well, it's like a combo of 3 awesome things. Dew, juice, and caffeine, rebooting your entire personal operating system.
Mountain Dew Kickstart is in position for consumption. All systems cleared for launch. Initiate launch sequence. T-minus 3, 2, 1, Mark. Release the Mountain Dew Kickstart.
Mountain Dew Kickstart released.
Experiencing a charge of Mountain Dew Kickstart now.
Mountain Dew Kickstart operation successful.
You are now off the couch and out exploring the world.
Roger that.
Get charged up for what's coming next anytime, anywhere with Mountain Dew Kickstart. Available in 10 energizing flavors like mango lime, raspberry citrus, midnight grape, and orange citrus. Mountain Dew Kickstart. Fuel with flavor.
Refreshment Services Pepsi announces that Josh Strickland has been chosen Employee of the Month. His hard work and willingness to help wherever he's needed make him a true team player, and that reflects the true spirit of Pepsi. Congratulations, Josh.
Hi, I'm Tabitha Coffey, TV personality and small business advisor. Many of the businesses I work with just need extra capital for things like remodeling or purchasing more products. That's where Cabbage comes in with flexible lines of credit of up to $150,000. Apply online and get a decision right away. Withdraw funds when you need them without reapplying. Cabbage has supported over 100,000 small businesses. Get started at cabbage.com/transform or 855-CABBAGE. That's Cabbage with a K, 855-CABBAGE.
Line of credit is subject to credit approval. See terms and conditions.
Hey, handsome, what's happening?
I'm ready for a beer, my man. How are you?
I am fantastic. This weather is beautiful.
Perfect, and I have a question for you. Snow cone or candy apple?
Ooh, both are sticky.
Both are tasty.
Candy apple.
No, that's the wrong answer. Halloween or Thanksgiving?
Ooh, one is sweet and the other one's savory. I'm going Thanksgiving.
Again. 16 Candles or Back to the Future?
Oh, my goodness. John Hughes or what's that boy's name? Marty McFly? I'm going 16 Candles.
Papa Grande with a Gordo smash. And by the way, I want that. Or a mountain of delicious croquetas. Also with a Gordo smash.
Trick question. Either way, you're not going to lose.
Exactamundo, my brother. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Weekend deals are here at Target. So here's your, you know you're getting that, and that, and that, and that, oh, and that guide to saving big this holiday season. Let's talk toys, those Christmas morning wonder makers. This Saturday at Target, toys are 25% off. That's 25% off gotta get favorites like My Little Pony Songbird Serenade or Batman and Wonder Woman action figures. It's go time, wish list. Save 25% on toys this Saturday, only at Target. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown at the baseball GM meetings in Orlando today. New Marlins CEO Derek Jeter says the team will listen to trade offers for outfielder Giancarlo Stanton. Jeter also says that doesn't mean Stanton will definitely be on another team in 2018. This year, he led the majors with 59 home runs, 132 runs batted in, and a .631 slugging percentage. Stanton has 10 years and $295 million left on his contract. The Bills are benching quarterback Tyrod Taylor for Sunday's game against the Chargers. Nathan Peterman will be the starter. The Bills are 5-4, but they've lost 2 in a row. There's an NBA doubleheader on ESPN starting at 8 Eastern. First up, the Cavaliers and Hornets in Charlotte, then the 76ers and Lakers in Los Angeles. Karl Anthony Towns of the Timberwolves tells ESPN the NBA should allow the use of medical marijuana. The young nephew of Towns' girlfriend is autistic, and he says he has seen firsthand how some of the properties of marijuana have helped the boy's condition.
Time to upgrade your wardrobe with CT Shirts, the most exquisitely crafted British-styled crease-free shirts I've ever worn. One CT shirt normally costs $100. I got you 3 shirts for just $99. Go to ctshirts.com/ESPN. ctshirts.com/ESPN.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you're going to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything, but if you do miss something, remember we got you covered all 3 hours. It's going to be posted both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. Email the show if you like, JCS at 979, ESPNradio.com. Find me on Twitter at JCameronShow, WTSM app for your mobile devices. And I'll note that we're on YouTube if you want to watch us complete the radio program this hour. You can go to ESPN Tallahassee on YouTube. You'll find us. I'm very intrigued. Will we get an announcement this hour? Will we get an announcement tonight or tomorrow? I was just checking. I saw where, Tom, you noted that Coach Spurrier noted on Twitter that he's not recommending anybody for that Florida job, unlike what was earlier reported, that Chip and Florida are ready to join hands, and that Strickland, the new AD, is trying to figure out what he's going to do. He maybe wants Scott Frost, and there are others trying to influence Florida to go with Kelly, and it's a big moment for the young AD, the new AD.
Man,
newish.
Yeah, the stories that have come out of Gainesville in the last week, 10 days, as it all started really with there was an ESPN.com article chronicling the final days, final hours of Jim McElwain's tenure as Florida's head coach. You've got a lot of people involved in decision-making when there only really needs to be one person involved in making the decisions.
Or two. The president can weigh in. But, yeah, AD
but you know what I mean from the athletic department.
Completely know what you mean. Yes, it is a little bit of the too many cooks in the kitchen thing, which is good for us. Good, whatever. We'll see what happens. But it does affect Florida State because Florida State will be looking for assistance, if not an entirely new staff. So we'll see what happens there. I am interested to see the direction that they go in. I've said that before. There are a few names that I'm raising an eyebrow at. Florida State won last night, basketball, TLC Double C. We start the year well, 1-0. Boat race, little George Washington. Get after you early, didn't we? Come on, get you some. I enjoyed it. Fun team. We're going to talk more about them this hour, but I like this group. I think they're going to be a team that will, at the very least, be willing to invest in because they're going to hustle, they're going to play hard, they're going to buy in.
Yeah, they're scrappy, but they have some skill to them too.
Well, yeah. A lot of times you describe a team as scrappy and fun to try to root for if you don't believe they're any good. And I don't think that's the case. I think they are decent, maybe even good. We'll see as the year develops. But I think they're going to be fun for more reasons than just that they try hard.
Well, I think the good news is, too, obviously that you don't have and this isn't by itself good news, so don't take it out of context. But since you don't have any one-and-done candidates this year, you've got a group that's largely young across the board. I mean, even Kumaje is only a junior. I think Angola is the senior. Obviously, Phil Kofer's been here since you were in school.
Yeah.
But
that's true.
Since Nate Andrews got here, since they all got here, Matthew Thomas, Ryan Green, everybody.
Yeah.
But you have a core group here of kids that can begin a process this year. I think surprise a few teams, catch them on a weird Tuesday night ACC doubleheader on Raycom, and
especially at a place where we just don't lose.
Right, exactly.
We just don't lose here anymore.
And flirt with the tournament, maybe get into the tournament. Then it's all about matchups at that point. But they're building something here with a core group that's not all going to be going, to the NBA in a year or two. These are guys that are going to be here for a minimum 3-4 seasons, and it starts with the sophomore guard combo of CJ Walker and then Trent Forrest, who was not available last night, which should be available.
Bruce still, he should be ready to play down in Jamaica Friday night.
Friday and Sunday. Yeah, we got a Sunday evening game as well.
One thing I want to say about this program is it would be absolutely critical to its, I guess, furthering growth, furthering perception of what it is and prospects of what it can be. For Coach Ham, a year after losing Bacon and losing Isaac, and to some extent XRM, turn this into back-to-back years in which it makes the tournament, because then you know that it's just not about a one-and-done run or a flourish of success in recruiting unique players that aren't traditionally coming to Florida State, but rather that it has been about program building, and that he will have recovered from the 4-year stretch where they didn't make the tournament, and really, hope was waning. There was a belief, I think, and a resounding belief that he was, in need to be replaced. A lot of people that we talked to were of that mindset. If he can go to back-to-back tournaments here, that'd be a big deal.
Yeah, a huge deal. And, that was the question and answer I was most fascinated by when you talked to Leonard on Monday, when you said, why change? and it was before you brought up the rules changes and helps necessitate change. But he had a really good answer for that. Talking about, well, in order to build something, you have to work with the pieces you have. And, I mean, he was here for 10 years working on that with the pieces he had. So I don't know how much actual, long-term truth there is to it.
Well, he couldn't get over the hump in recruiting. I mean, in truth, they would get a guy here or there.
Yeah.
That was different than the kinds of guys that they typically got. But they could not get an influx of skilled, talented players at the same time. They didn't get those in bunches.
But with that answer, more than any other macro question I can think of with Leonard, that answer, the way he answered it indicated to me that there is a long-term vision for what he's trying to do here in the program. And what we've been talking about, lamenting his time here, championing his time here, and everything in between, because there's been a little bit of everything in the last, say, 5 or 6 seasons. We said, well, how much longer does he want to do this? Because he's not a spring chicken now.
No.
So, to me, that answer tells me that he's in it now, and he's been in it, and it's for the long haul. And I get that there are a lot of people out there that say, well, damn it, man, that's precisely what we don't want. But hang on a minute now. If a group like this succeeds, gets to the tournament, and is growing into its upperclassmen years, well, then you've got a program to be really, really proud about. Not just about one-and-dones that you use while they use you. You got a bunch of kids now that are buying in and coming here for the program's sake, for the system's sake. And that's not the case. Usually we were trying to get athletes and teach them to play basketball instead of basketball players and allowing them to play and flourish within a system. It's different.
Well, you're right. It is different, and it is exciting. And I think that if you've ever had an opportunity to sit down, and I know you have, or at least you've been a part of it when we've done it on this show, to sit down and talk to Ham about what he's building, what he's always been attempting to build, the hits and misses and everything in between. One thing that certainly comes through, not only comes through, but really, really shines, is the fact that he loves his kids, these kids, the ones that invest. He loves and wants to build something special. He wants to see them graduate. He wants them to believe in the long-term vision of what Florida State basketball can become. And there are plenty of people who have rightfully pointed out at times that, man, it has taken way too long and is very frustrating, and the ups and downs have seen more downs than ups and all that kind of stuff. And we get into some of the mitigating circumstances with that and some of the reasons why I reject that. But to that end, Tom, it may before he's out of here have happened.
Yes.
It may be a reality for Florida State, and that will be his legacy.
It could be. And to the person screaming at the radio for the last 4 or 5 minutes, listen, if we win 6 conference games this year, then we'll have a completely different conversation. But this year is kind of a good indicator about the long-term health of the program under Hamilton in a post-one-and-done era. We have a McDonald's All-American, yes, but we're not relying on Beasley Bacon, the freshman. We're not relying on Jonathan Isaac, the lottery pick freshman.
No,
it's
which
not
is one
the
of the
same
reasons,
thing.
Well, and I'll get into this in a second. But I want to talk about something else for a moment, which is one of the reasons why I do think this team's going to be successful. That said, did you watch any of the Kansas-Kentucky game?
Yes, I watched probably about 8-10 minutes of it.
Pretty fun.
Basketball, 10 minutes.
Pretty fun game, right? What are we doing at ESPN? What is going on with the abbreviation?
Yeah.
I didn't know what the hell. I thought Kent was playing. If I hadn't looked at the 7 next to the name, I would have gone like, oh, I see Kansas playing Kent tonight. What? It's not hard, man. They couldn't even fit Kansas in there.
Right.
Why is KAN on my screen?
Right.
Not that I can't figure it out. I got you. It's just dumb.
Well, they'll fix that. I think by,
But why? How did that happen? What meeting are they in where they're like, check this out, Johnny? Look at these big-ass names and numbers so everybody will know the score. Yeah, listen, that's great, Steve. You can't fit Kansas on the screen?
Yeah.
Why is Can on the screen? And why is Kent on? This is...
Even with our lowly, and they're good, but, for what we're doing, but even with our lowly YouTube programming, which is, it has software that's a decent chunk of change. Nothing like the, production trucks that ESPN uses in the software.
Crazy.
Man, that graphic stuff auto-fits. The more you type in, the smaller that the font gets. It auto-fits. I don't know what the decision was there last night, but
I was looking at that last night, and I'm sure it was I didn't check Twitter at the time. I tend not to.
Ira commented on it last night.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I imagine anybody who cares about watching basketball games, that would be Ira, you, me, and anybody else listening to this show who's in on college basketball, especially big-time matchups, would look at that and immediately go, well, this is absurd. What are we doing? Kent versus Can. Get the hell out of here with that nonsense.
They could have done UKKU at the very least if they want to go with the brevity kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm just telling you
that graphic looks neat though. Once they get the team name fine, I like the layout of the timeouts and all that stuff.
No, that's fine. I understand what they were going for. It's just hard for me to imagine that nobody said at the meeting, "What are we doing here with this big ass can?"
You sound like me in Shot Spot.
Yeah,
that hits you.
It pisses me off. It's ridiculous. And the more I watched, I was going, this is ridiculous. Surely somebody said, this doesn't look good, guys. It's not hard. Kentucky, Kansas, make it big enough or small enough, however we need to do it to get the team name on there. It's not Gonzaga.
Yeah, welcome to the Cham class, the Champions Classic.
Yeah, it's what are they going to yeah. Chef Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the makers of the toughest utility vehicles on earth, can give you the best year-end deal on earth. So let us show you how to get tax savings on your new Mahindra XTV and get cash back and savings up to $2,500 on select clearance models. Plus, get a free roof and Mahindra's 3-year warranty.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Spirit of Pepsi. Congratulations, Josh.
Why wait for Christmas for what you've been wishing? At Goodies, it's half the price for a whole lot more gifting. Get ready for pre-Thanksgiving super savings at Goodies. This is an all-day, all-weekend doorbuster, which means Friday through Sunday, you can get 50% off almost everything in store. And there will be giftspiration everywhere you look, like our gift bar, home goods, and kids department too. Beat the Black Friday rush with pre-Thanksgiving super savings. Goodies. What will new bring out in you? Goodies is part of our Stage family. Offer exclusions apply.
Proof Brewing Company is Tallahassee's first and largest production craft brewery since 2012. They are locally owned and operated inside Railroad Square Art Park. Visit Proof's expansive brewery, outdoor beer garden, and tasting room with live music on Friday evenings. Proof Brewing Company's award-winning beers 850 and Mango Wit are now available in 6-pack cans. Follow Proof Brewing Company on Facebook or visit online at proofbrewingco.com for more info. Proof Brewing Company reminds you to please drink responsibly.
Wow, this is great. E+.
E+? Is that like A+?
It's better. The E stands for easy.
Easy Plus?
Yep. Easy ways to save energy, water, and money from the City of Tallahassee Utilities. Your own utilities. The City of Tallahassee Utilities has created easy ways to monitor your account with E+ online. We can pay online, we can check our balance online, compare usage history online, and even take a free online energy audit.
And I see the City of Tallahassee Utilities has created a new smart bill. Once we enroll, we do everything online. Billing, pay, paying, everything. What a time saver. Not to mention saving energy, water, and money.
And when we download the City of Tallahassee Utilities Digitally smartphone app, we can do everything on our phone. Pretty incredible.
Plus, there are new authorized payment locations, like some local gas stations, grocery stores, other city departments, and more.
We can even go to the Renaissance Center at 435 North Macomb Street to pay our bill.
Wow. The E really does stand for easy, doesn't it?
It sure does. E Plus from the City of Tallahassee Utilities. Your own utilities.
Tallahassee loves the corner pocket as much as a crystal ball winning catch.
He's looking, he lost it to the end zone. It's Benjamin! Touchdown! With 13 seconds left.
The 97.9 ESPN radio special is a must-have every Monday and Wednesday at the corner pocket. 10 mouth-watering wings, a fresh side of fries, and a chilled domestic pint of beer are just $9.79 all day long. Be sure and try the fish blend of sauces, a true wing eater's favorite. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
He's gone!
Home of Trivia Tuesday, Beer Bingo Thursday, and the daily $7.99 lunch special.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Show 97.9 ESPN Radio. Don't worry, Tom. No cursing here, buddy. Anytime I add new bumper, I can see the concerned look of my friend and producer, Tom Lane. Like, did you vet this properly? This guy sounds like a cursor.
Sometimes they do, but just the way that's written, it didn't sound like he was going to slip anything in there.
No.
Hey, now.
Crank it.
Extra special. Slip the finger into my sweet tea.
I love that line. No cursing there. You're all right. You can let it ride. So, do you also enjoy the way that I do enjoy the overreaction? See, people fall for the game. They want to fall for the game. They want to be duped. They want to feign outrage. Faux outrage is in. People like to pretend they're angry about everything. It's part of the bad part of political correctness. That whole thing where people get offended easily and can handle jokes.
Society.
They get angry about every little thing that comes down the pike, such as the college football playoff rankings. We're doing that? You guys sit around on Tuesday nights, do you? Ooh, those sons of bitches. You're getting played, man. That's the way it's been. They revealed that early. I think as a fan base, us Noles know that better than most. Better than most. We saw it all play out that time. They tried to take a team that had won 29 straight games and debate whether or not they should be in the playoff.
Yeah.
Think about that and say it out loud again. They tried to take a team that had won 29 games in a row and then debate whether or not that team deserved to be at the dance.
Yeah, but this is the deal. That was the first year of the playoff committee, so we didn't really know how crazy they were. Now we have a sense for how crazy they are.
Well, they also like to do things that are going to kind of poke the bear. Alabama is the new number one team in the rankings. They replaced Georgia after Georgia gets housed by Auburn. It marks the 11th appearance at number one for the Crimson Tide in the college football playoff era already, 5 more than any other school. Yep. Clemson moves up to number 2. Are we going to just ignore that Clemson lost a game this year? Is that what we're doing now?
Wait a minute. Don't fall for it.
Like, we're just going to ignore that Clemson lost a game to Syracuse?
Don't fall into the trap.
And that quarterback play is a little shoddy?
Don't fall for the trap.
I guess just currently we're going to ignore that Clemson lost a game to Syracuse this year. And I'm infuriated.
That's their Admiral Akbar trap, man.
It is. Miami moves up to number 3, should be number 1. On resumes. On resumes.
There's some food for thought.
Well, I don't think they're the best team in college football, but that's not what this is about. Marking the first time the ACC has had multiple teams in the top 4. Best conference in football again. I'm just throwing it around because I like to stir the pot, get people angry again.
Don't fall for it.
And after a pair of wins over ranked teams in the last 2 weeks, Oklahoma is number 4. The Sooners are the last and first Big 12 team to appear in the top 4 since 2015. Oklahoma was number 4 in the final 2015 rankings. Well, basically, it's Oklahoma in the Big 12. And what I mean is it's Oklahoma and nobody else. So Georgia falls all the way down to number 7. It won't matter if they win out, they're in. They'll get back in. But if the current playoff began, you would see Alabama and Oklahoma, and I got to tell you, I want to see that game.
That would be interesting.
That's a game.
Yeah.
That's a damn fine game is what that is.
Yeah. Some years, not so much.
No,
this
but
year,
that would be a good game.
Absolutely.
The other matchup would be the way it's set up. Of course, it can't be, but it would be as of right now because that's why this thing doesn't matter, Clemson and Miami, which I also think is going to make for a great ACC championship.
Yeah. So it will happen in all likelihood.
Yeah.
I think, no, they both clinched. Yeah.
No, that's going to be an awesome game. That's a fun game. They both have similar problems there. They got really good defensive lines and not a lot at quarterback.
This hurts. I'm just thinking about, man, it's like we need to turn to Dabo again. Come on, Dabo, go get him.
Yeah, man.
Screw you, man.
Well,
and
listen,
not you,
until we
Dabo.
get our house in order, buddy, you got to fly the flag. Fly that flag high. You can't, in good conscience, pull from Miami.
No, of course not.
No, that's never going to
I
happen.
don't even dislike Clemson, but, good Lord. Great, they got to do our dirty work.
What do you think? Who do you think? Well, this is a dumb question, so I won't ask it. I'll ask it a different way. Not named Alabama. Who do you think Vegas gives the next best odds to win the national championship?
To win the title.
To win the whole
Not
thing.
to get to the playoffs.
Yeah. So Alabama is the number one. From an odds standpoint,
Yeah.
Vegas has Bama as the odds-on favorite, which I raise an eyebrow to, but that's an aside. Who do you think they have as the second best odds? This will interest you, I think.
It's either Oklahoma.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you kind of agree with that?
Yeah.
Me too.
I do.
Me too. That's where we're at, man. That's crazy.
I would have said Oklahoma or Auburn, believe it or not, would have been my next
Because
guess.
you think they're going to beat Alabama.
Well, no, again, because if they beat Alabama, they've already beaten
Beat
Georgia,
Georgia.
and then there's your path. You have your path to
No,
the title.
they have a path, but it's just you got to assume then if you think they're the next best odds, because you could choose Ohio State,
Right.
which by the way you want to see anger.
Sure. Oh.
How about
yeah.
that team who's been blown out twice?
Yeah.
Blown out.
Mm-hmm.
Blown the hell out. Like not even competitive.
Bend over.
Yeah, imagine that team gets in the playoffs. People are like, what are we doing here?
Right. Yeah.
It's a never-ending search, folks, for a system that's been flawed from day one, and you can go back as far as you want to go back. It's nonsense.
Did you hear the arguments last night as people are trying to...
I didn't watch it.
They're trying to poke the bear.
I didn't watch it.
Well, this was before the rankings even came out.
I didn't watch any of it.
Okay. So you didn't see this argument?
No, I was watching basketball, enthralled by Florida State's victory, committed to live sports and not a faux debate.
There was a debate, and I won't even indulge. I'll just tell you what it was.
Uh-huh.
The idea being that if Clemson beats Miami, could Miami still get in with one loss?
Two ACC
because there are
teams.
other
Well,
there are
it's
other
just
two lost
strength,
conference
Tom,
champions.
just so much conference strength.
The answer to that is Notre Dame needs to win out so that Miami win looks better.
The exudes the strength of the ACC is what that does. That discussion just talks about what we already know to be true. The mighty ACC has risen yet again. Flex that ACC muscle.
Yeah, they were. What the argument was, let's say Georgia beats Alabama, and then Clemson beats Miami, and you have two lost champions the rest of the way, which is possible.
Right.
Which conference has the better chance of getting two seats at the table, the SEC or the ACC, and which one should? That is a plausible thing that could happen just from wins and losses. That could be your top 6 or top 7. So if that were to happen,
I got to think about it. This is new to me. I wasn't part of that.
And it
debate.
would be a one-loss Wisconsin, but nobody believes in Wisconsin, so they would have lost to Ohio State or something.
You know what
nonsense like that.
You know what I did find out? By the way, who has Alabama beaten?
They've beaten our ass. Not really, though.
Again.
I'm just kidding.
I'm kidding. So is Clemson. So is Miami. So is everybody involved in this discussion. So would anybody involved in this discussion.
No, I mean,
Auburn, Georgia.
Boston College beat us by more.
35-3.
So it's really not that impressive.
No. So, no, what I would ask you is this is amazing, by the way. Every year when all of these debates are forced to happen at a time where it's not necessary, but I get it because it's part of the larger soap opera, ESPN chooses to introduce new metrics. Projected strength of record can evaluate a team's chance to have a top 4 strength of record at the end of the regular season. Of the 12 teams to make the college football playoff, 11 finished in the top 4 in strength of record. So ESPN wants you to know it's very important that their projected strength of record has some sway on the way you think about this debate and who you'd have. Now, the best chance to finish in the top 4 in strength of record currently belongs to... Now, see, I'm asking you a question that presumes... No, Miami. That presumes, Tom, that you are going to buy into this new metric. So I'm not going to let you debate. See, this is the trick they play.
Sure.
I'm not going to let you debate the merits of this. I want you just to note that our new metric of strength of record, projected strength of record to finish, is of consequences, and now we take the debate forward from there.
Yeah.
Alabama and Miami are 1-2. It's actually Alabama 79%, Miami 78%. Clemson's 3rd and Georgia's 4th. So Oklahoma is way out there, buddy.
Well, Clemson got screwed by Virginia Tech and Louisville being no good at all because that 3-week stretch, which was really impressive at the time, now no longer
looks all that impressive.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, I hate that.
And we also screwed Alabama and Clemson.
But I've always and Miami for that matter.
Yeah,
I've always hated this though because I get that how you're playing at the end of the year. A lot of times in the old methodology really seemed to matter. So you could lose a game early and win 11 straight, and you could find your way back in it. But if you lost a game late in the year and both teams were 11-1, total resume was the same. The team that lost early got in over the team that lost late, and so when you lost, not who you lost to, mattered more. And I didn't like that method. That bothered me. I always thought, well, resume's a resume. You know, when you play the game, if you played Miami the first game of the year and you lost that game, and you went on to win the rest of your games, and some other poor sap played a team that was of that quality late in the year and they lost that game, but they had won the previous 11 games. That sucks for them, right?
Woo.
Anyhow, all of that said, then later on, we introduced a new system because a lot of people felt like that was an unfair system.
Yeah.
We had all these other things happen. I don't like that we dismiss. It's not that you can't overlook it entirely, but we dismiss the value of some wins if they occur like they – for example, Louisville was a different team when they played Clemson that night.
Yeah.
Part of Louisville's problem is directly tied to what happened to them that day against Clemson. You see what I'm saying?
Sure. It forever altered the way they played.
Part of Florida State's problem is what happened to them when they got beat by Alabama and subsequently NC State.
Oh, it's by far the most impressive of the top 3 teams, which we've all played.
Right.
It's the most impressive performance against us because we had our quarterback.
We had our quarterback for the entirety of the game, didn't move the ball in the second half.
An offensive line, continuous, Landon Dickerson.
And we played hard and played well and all that and still lost convincingly. But it's dismissed. It's completely dismissed. Yeah. And I get when you're 3-6, it's hard to hang your hat on that. If you're Alabama, you found out that Florida State wasn't any good. But then again, the way Alabama played Florida State is not the way that anybody else played Florida State because nobody else played Florida State with DeAndre Francois.
I just want to know, what's their BCI, the body clock index? Who's number 1 on the body clock index?
I haven't scanned down far enough yet. We don't have enough time for this segment.
Makes a difference.
It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Outrage! I'm furious. I hate those rankings. I'm going to yell at somebody in the office all day.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the world's #1 selling tractor, can give you the #1 year-end deal. Let us show you how to get tax savings on the toughest tractors on earth and get up to $7,400 in discounts along with Mahindra's 7-year warranty. Plus, get an Emax 22 with mid-mower for just $134 a month.
I'm truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
For all ticket, VIP, and festival information, Foo Fighters, Ozzy Osbourne, and so much more. Welcome to Rockville, fueled by Monster Energy Drink.
Look at that mouth. That poor, parched mouth. So dry. What'd you eat for lunch? Chalk dust? Did your mouth cannonball into a barrel of mothballs? You're being awfully quiet. Is that because your mouth feels like the business end of a Dremel saw? Is it because your mouth just wrote a haiku and all 17 syllables were dry heaves? You're so parched. You know it. I know it. The entire radio knows it. Just admit it. You want a Mountain Dew. Your mouth feels like it just inhaled the insides of a punching bag, and the only remedy is that neon green potion. Right now, your mouth could be tongue bathing in the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Instead, it feels like you've been motorboating King Tut's sarcophagus. Show some mercy. Crack open an ice-cold Mountain Dew. You know your mouth wants you to. Do the Dew.
Refreshment Services Pepsi announces that Josh Strickland has been chosen Employee of the Month. His hard work and willingness to help wherever he's needed make him a true team player, and that reflects the true spirit of Pepsi. Congratulations, Josh.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's Employee of the Month, 2 months in a row. Leave a message at the... Hi, Jamie. It's me, Jamie. I just had a new idea for our song about the Name Your Price tool. So when it's like, tell us what you want to pay, hey, 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 and the trombone goes, blah, 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 and you say, we'll help you find coverage options to fit your budget. Then we just all do finger snaps while a choir goes, savings coming at ya, savings coming at ya. Yes? No? Maybe? Anyway, see you at practice tonight. I got new lyrics for the rap break.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the world's #1 selling tractor, can give you the #1 year-end deal. Let Mahindra show you how to get tax savings on the toughest tractors on earth. And hurry in for up to $7,400 in special Mahindra cash back and savings.
North Florida and South Georgia's authorized Mahindra dealer is TNT Super Center, US 19 South in Thomasville, and at TNTSuperCenter.com.
Offer with approved credit. See dealer for details. Program restrictions may apply.
This Day in Sports brought to you by Superlube. Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary.
This day in sports history.
November 15th, 1960. Elgin Baylor of the Los Angeles Lakers set a then NBA record by scoring 71 points in a 123-108 victory over the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden. Only a few other players would ever reach the scoring heights established by Baylor. Wilt Chamberlain would do it 5 times. David Thompson and Kobe Bryant would each do it once.
It's that time of year again where you have to shop for the naughty and the nice. Make it easy. Superlube it and get rewarded with a free oil change. Right now, visit any of the 19 area Superlube locations, buy 3 oil changes, and get 1 free. Keep it or give that free oil change to a car lover on your list. Hurry in and make shopping easy with a free oil change from Superlube. You'll be glad you did.
They change my oil in just 10 minutes. Boy, this place is sure convenient. How I love to super lube my car, lube my car. How I love to super lube my car. Yes, sir.
This Day in Sports brought to you by Superlube. Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary.
This day in sports history.
November 15th, 1960. Elgin Baylor of the Los Angeles Lakers set a then NBA record by scoring 71 points in a 123-108 victory over the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden. Only a few other players would ever reach the scoring heights established by Baylor. Wilt Chamberlain would do it 5 times. David Thompson and Kobe Bryant would each do it once.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Never remember to do. I never remember to do Rockville, Tom. Let's do Rockville in this, the final segment of the Jeff Cameron Show for the evening. I have to say evening now, too, with this silly time change. I hate it. We walk outside, it's dark. What are we doing here, man?
Well, we're getting darkness a lot quicker, but you have the sun in the morning if you want to do, morning golfing maybe. You can get out to the course earlier.
Yeah. I like the light longer. That's just me.
I'm the same way.
I like to get home, play with the kids in the front yard, have some time to throw the ball around the lot, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Rockville tickets. In April, it'll be plenty light for you. Florida's biggest rock experience expands to 3 days. Rockville. Godsmack. Stone Sour, Avenged Sevenfold, Ozzy. Foo Fighters, my man Billy Idol. Somewhere in Tibet, calling that number for girls to come to the room, I'm sure, is Billy Idol. Maybe not Tibet, maybe Thailand. Probably Thailand.
Yeah, probably Bangkok.
Thailand, yeah. This guy. Anyhow, the number 523-3776. You want to go to Rockville and see some of these bands in April, 28th, 29th. Make it happen. Why did I say Tibet? Certainly not Tibet. I meant Thailand.
I was going to say, these monks, they have ladies.
They're getting after it. Well, I could make a lot of jokes, but
listen, I'm a monk, but I'm a man.
We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. I meant Thailand. I'm tired. It's late in the show. Rockville tickets, caller number 4, 523-3776. Make it happen, baby. All right. I feel better now that I've done that. You know what else I feel better about? I said this at the start of the show, and I'll end the show this way too. And I don't want you to take it the wrong way, because it can happen where it's a game and you win one game and people go crazy with the way that they talk about a team after one game. This basketball team's going to be pretty good, man. And there are multiple reasons for thinking that, and it has nothing to do with actually winning a basketball game last night. We've had this discussion both on the air and then sometimes off of it over the years about the teams that Mike Martin has fielded at Florida State in his time here. That when he's got a loaded team and the expectations are to the moon and you've got really every position covered, sometimes you feel like there's so much on the line that maybe his demeanor shifts when the games are biggest. Maybe it could be felt in the clubhouse, could be felt in the dugout, that there's a lot at stake because you don't want to swing and miss with a team this talented when you know you got a chance to make a real go of it. That's maybe when he doesn't do his best job of coaching. Not always. He's had some really talented teams that he did a great job of coaching with. I'm just saying we've seen him have years like that, and then there have been the years where we thought they may not make the tournament. They may really struggle. They don't have the frontline pitching. They've got shoddy-looking defense. I don't know how well they're going to be able to string together a win streak because they've got problems. Not unlike this last year with all the injuries and some things that occurred.
2 months of last year, 5 a.m. practices and all that stuff.
But then that guy, man, he's a hands-on guy, and he gets in there, and they find a way. He massages victories out of a team sometimes that you just don't see it coming. So many times in his career, I've watched a less talented team play over its head and make a run and make a real go at the ACC and or the College World Series with teams that weren't nearly as talented as some of their predecessors.
Well, this isn't meant to be a shot either. It's just the truth. He's hands-on when they get here, though. And that's part of the problem sometimes.
Right.
Of why, perhaps you might have to work harder once they get here because there are fewer of those guys.
Right. So I just the point is that he's taken some teams that you thought wouldn't be very good and they became very good. And then he's taken some teams that you knew were loaded and maybe not achieved as much as you thought they should. And I think Leonard Hamilton is that guy too. I think Leonard Hamilton has struggled when we've had huge expectations and you've brought in certain one-and-done guys or elite players. Think back to Al Thornton's time. Didn't make the tournament. Al Thornton was a singular beast. I mean, at one time, Coach K talked about him as the best player in the ACC. He has a hard time sometimes creating ways to defer to a singular presence or a stud player, as opposed to running a system and getting guys to buy in and play into a role. And there is nobody on this team that you would defer to. Nobody is going to feel the pressure to defer to somebody else. Some of the other teammates a year ago had to have felt pressure to defer, whether it be to a Bacon or an XRM or an Isaac. That when he has guys, Tony Douglas, we underachieved with Tony Douglas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guys,
made the tournament, but yeah.
But yeah, and lost to Wisconsin in the first round. But, or was that the second round? Whatever it was. First. Yeah. So those guys, those obvious stars that you have to defer to, they have to have so many touches and so many looks. I don't think Ham likes to play that way. And it's a weakness, but his strength is taking a group of guys that buy in, that are all in, to run a system, and now he's got a group of guys that are athletic and skilled and can really go. Think about the pace we've chosen to play now, and they don't turn the ball over. It used to be when he tried to run because he wanted to run, we turned it over all over the place. Remember the turnovers per possession? We were one of the worst in the country.
Yeah.
Watch us now. That's not who we are.
Yeah.
He's got depth. They've got size. They've got enough talent spread across the board. I think you're going to play a lot of guys, and I think it's going to be a team that probably, at least based on what expectations are, overachieves this year. I believe that.
I hope so. Last night seeing Walker hit, a few different types of shots. MJ Walker, not CJ.
Yeah.
Was really reassuring because that's his first real game as a Knoll, and sometimes it takes freshmen a little while to shake off the nerves or the pressure. But it's also worth noting that he's coming off the bench to do that. He's not brought in here as a Beasley, Bacon, one and done, and here you go. Or
that's what
Isaac.
I mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, but from a pressure standpoint, I think that he doesn't feel it nearly as much, but it's good to see that he is a jump shooter because Savoy needs to be more consistent. And last night just wasn't one of his nights, and it followed the same form of last year, which was if he hits his first one, well, you might as well give him 10 more because he's going to hit you 6 or 7 total for the night. Last night, he hits. Listen, he's got more speed to the basket. He's got the ability to drive, which he didn't show a whole lot last year. And so when he did that early on, I thought, oh boy, well, if you can do that and mix in a jump shot or two, man, you're going to be something else. But you could tell that he was out of his game when he missed his first 4 threes, I think it was, and I don't know that he took another one for the rest of the game. But you're going to have to be able to shoot at some point. This is all great that we're scrappy, that we're going to contest shots, that we're going to give you effort, but you're going to have a couple of players that you could, be it Angola or MJ Walker or Savoy, Cobbingale, whoever it's going to be. You're going to have a couple of guys emerge when we're shortening our bench and playing good ACC teams. Either way, it's going to be fun to watch them build, but I just want to see who those players are going to be during non-conference season.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I think they're a fun team. I think expectations are really low, and my point would be that they're going to overachieve, and they're going to be better than that, and they're going to make the tournament. I think there's enough talent and experience and speed and size and a willingness to buy in. They're going to score in transition. I think they've got plenty of guys on a given night that can carry you for stretches at a time. Not a singular superstar that's going to do that you can depend on over and over again. They'll spread it out. There'll be nights where nobody's hitting shots and you're just not good enough and you don't have a defer to guy, and that's fine. But I do think that they are deep enough and talented enough now, skilled enough to be able to run the system he wants to run and create easy baskets. You get a lot of easy baskets when you play the way we play at this speed.
Yeah, there's no doubt, and it's going to help when Forrest is not, hurt.
Well,
and the bone bruise is there because obviously it pushes Savoy into the starting lineup where it would have been Forrest
instead. Raekwon Gray didn't play.
Right. And it changes the way you rotate. And they're going to have to learn each other because if you're going to do this line change approach, then every permutation of the 5 you put on the floor, be it against a big team or a team that likes to run 4 or 5 guards itself, you have to find each other. And I think there's going to be some growing pains there when you're talking about turnovers because the spacing, I get it. There aren't really positions anymore in the sport. It's about wing play. It's about perimeter shooting, being able to drive, all that kind of stuff. But they're going to have to get used to each other too, and that's going to have its own set of growing pains. I think the fans' expectation is lower than the media's expectation. The media had us around 8-9 in the conference this year, which is right on the bubble of the tournament.
Yeah, the media had us at 8. I will say my expectations, just speaking for me, based on what I've seen now and the people that I've talked to, and we'll get to see more basketball in Jamaica. I'm excited to see that because there's some decent opponents here, by the way, a couple of mid-majors, and you got Colorado State out of the Mountain West and Fordham out of the A-10. Well, I think I have greater expectations for what they can be than, say, Corey or Ira, and I didn't ask you what your expectation was before the season.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you thought they would be an intriguing team, and I think a lot of people believe that. I just think they're going to be better than people think. Certainly the way the listeners and those that write emails and ask questions, they believe that it's going to be a dramatic drop-off. And why wouldn't you? If you lose some one-and-done guys, you lose obviously a stat stuffer like Isaac was, and you lose a Bacon, and you lose a guy like XRM. Let's face it, as maddening as he could be, he could also take over games for stretches as a scorer. So when you lose all of that, it's right to suddenly be very concerned about where the basket's going to come from. But I'm pretty impressed with the way they play as a team.
Well, there's a couple of keys to the season, and one is who's going to be your shooter when you have to have it, and then what is
Phil Kofer?
What is well, I don't expect. I mean, that was a great night for him last night.
Played great, yeah.
I hope that's more
he did
sustainable.
This. Remember when he did this once before? I'm
exactly.
not. Phil Kover's not a guy I'm relying on, but good on you, Phil.
Right. Well, you're gonna need a big board here or there. You're gonna have to have presence down low because you're gonna be playing ACC teams in a couple of months.
Sure.
But that's where the key to the year to me too is what can Kumaje give you? What can he give you honestly? And what how many minutes can he give you? He's not out there for fouls anymore. So what kind of presence can he be around the rim? Who's going to be able to get clean the glass for us? And so to me, that's the number one thing that can help make this whole thing go, because if you like to get out in transition, well, then somebody's got to be there to clean up the glass and get the ball down the court. The good thing about Kumaje is he has offensive sense and he has enough speed and stamina to get up and down the court that he won't be having to come off if you get in a 5-minute stretch where you're running up and down and up.
Well, and last night things started so well, and the way they played in facets of the game, in particular the first half, I loved. They got sloppy in the first half of the second half. And that's where you see those turnover numbers spike up. I think 10 of their 16 turnovers were in the second half. They were fine for the most part. And you went through a weird stretch. But that's the feeling out process we're talking about when you're figuring out rotation and you've got a guy out that's going to be integral in all of this. I can live with all that. You still had more assists than turnovers.
Well, and I think, listen, it's way, way, way too early. Could be dead wrong about this. But looking at George Washington, some of the pieces it has, I don't think that's a terrible basketball team that we played last night. And I get they lost a lot from year to year, the one kid that went to the Hawks or whatever. But you look at some of the scores they have, slashers, and then the ability they have to defend a little bit. Now, they don't have the size that we do, but they're playing A-10 competition.
Very few teams will have the size we do.
Correct. Even though, as their coach noted last night, and is their coach like 28 years old, by the way?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
He said, the funny thing is they're really big and we can't match their size, but they're markedly smaller than they were last year. That's just how big Florida State typically is.
Yeah.
They have a 7'4" kid, and I'm looking at them saying they're not that big this year.
Yeah.
But I think our depth obviously also has a lot of size to defend the perimeter. Anyway, I say all that to say, I think last night's win is a little bit better than your usual tune-up first game of the season victory. And that's what has me excited, because George Washington had toughness to him. They tried to make a couple of runs there, and we shut it down.
Remember last year how we struggled mightily the first 15 games of the year to close people out?
Right.
It drove me nuts. And when we start this second half, after they had played so well, Florida State shot 63% in the first half. I mean, they're up 50-32.
Right.
I mean, everything goes well. And then all of a sudden, it's getting a little dicey. And I'm going, are we doing this again? But no, we weren't. No, we weren't.
No, you get a couple of stops. Actually, MJ Walker hits one of the big shots of the night to take the air out of whatever run they're putting together. And what was interesting at half, it looked like the way we were running up and down and then using our basketball line changes, it looked like that they just weren't going to have the gas.
Yeah.
But credit to them. That's why I think they're a 20-win team last year. They might be flirting with a mid-upper teens campaign again this season. So again, I like what I see last night, but the competition's only going to get much, much stiffer. And what happens when you face real competition?
Yeah. No, I'm not. I didn't want to make a declarative statement about them going to the Final Four or anything. I'm just thinking that expectations are really low around here, and there's a lot of reason to believe that Ham has the kind of team that he can mold the way that he likes to mold. There is no player you have to defer to, so they're all going to be – I mean, why would I defer to that guy when he's no better than I am? They're even across the board in that way. You don't have to force the ball to anybody, and I think they'll have all kinds of buy-in and belief.
Well, a couple of things. There's always the kids who jump off, usually the walk-ons, and they're cheering every time you make a basket or something. That's become kind of a sideshow in the sport of basketball, college and pro.
Annoyingly so.
But the way that Forrest interacts from the bench, the way that the first group of guys look, they interact with the second group when they're coming off for all substitutions, you get the sense, like you said yesterday, but just watching it in practice in a real game where there are struggles, ebbs and flows, you get the sense that they're all pulling for each other.
They like each other.
There have been, in the past 5 years.
Addition by subtraction, my friend. There are some guys that made that very difficult.
And that matters greatly in
does.
college basketball.
It's huge. It's huge. You only got 5 starters on the floor at one time, and if you hate one of them, that can be tough.
Yeah, sure can.
That could be
especially
tough.
when he goes 1 for 5.
Let's do a little what's on tap, my friend. Let's get there.
Ready for a cold one? Proof Brewing Company in Railroad Square Art Park presents What's on Tap. So, Jeff, what'll it be?
We're still not playing hockey tonight, are we?
No. One more damn night.
It feels like it's been an eternity, despite my enthusiasm for an unbelievable start. I don't know. I haven't really thought about what tonight is. I haven't I haven't. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch a little Netflix action.
It would have been better if they had pushed the Champions Classic for our purposes, of course, because it's all about us, to Wednesday night. So then we could have watched the doubleheader tonight.
Would have been nice.
But actually, you see, I pushed back yoga from yesterday to today, Jeff.
Did you?
Because you know what?
Yeah, you wanted to watch.
It would have eaten me alive to not be able to watch this basketball team live instead of taping the game. So I watched it live.
Thing, buddy. There you go. I don't know what I'll watch tonight. I'll probably watch basketball. I found myself getting involved in that, doing the right thing, watching a little college basketball to start the year, get a feel for what teams are what, watching Kentucky and watching Duke and watching those guys.
One thing I will say, I agree with you in that this team has a chance to surprise people.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of things have to come together, but you can see where the makings of those things coming together are. They're there. The pieces are there.
Friday night, 6 o'clock, CBS-SN, Florida State Fordham. Ooh.
All right. Get you some Fordham.
Get you to 2-0, all right? Let's get a little 2-0. Our thanks to Proof Brewing Company for sponsoring What's on Tap. Proof Brewing Company since 2007, offering Tallahassee's finest craft beer selections at their massive tap room in Railroad Square Art Park and canned deliciousness in stores near you. Oh, that was really well done.
That was.
I felt like I was on The Price is Right, telling somebody what they were about to win. The showcase.
The Showcase Showdown.
Love the Showcase Showdown. Still do. I win that Showcase Showdown all the time.
Yeah?
I do.
You simulate it
I
out?
do. I would win. I would do well. I don't know if I'd win or not, but I do well. You know, the other game, this is a universally beloved program, the Jeff Cameron Show, that is, is the guessing of the prices above or below. Is it more than or less than?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I love it. I love it. You know why? Because once you are indeed a married man who frequents the store,
Mr. Publix like you are, yeah,
I can tell you the price of almost everything. Now, I'm not the guy that really is overly concerned. Like, my wife gets mad about this, and this will be who I am for the rest of my life. Maybe you call it wasteful. I say I don't like to waste a lot of time. Here's my deal. She'll say things like, well, you don't need to get that there. It's cheaper here. Look, I'm going here. I'm going to be here. I'm not going across town to save 4 cents on eggs. Yeah. I don't care that they're 4 cents more here than they are over at that other place, especially if I don't like the other place. I'll pay the extra 4 cents, and I don't care if at the end, when I'm checking out, I probably spend an extra $6 as compared to the other place. I like this place. I want to be here, and it's worth the $6 to me.
Okay, let me posit this to you then real quick.
Yeah.
Because I like to have chicken sausage in the morning for breakfast.
Okay.
It's actually quite good. Chicken and sage usually is the mixture.
I got you.
Okay. It's delicious. It's actually better than the Brown and Serve.
All right.
You go to one store, which is closer to my home, and it's $6.99. The very same product just down the road at a place we used to go to a lot for lunch.
Yeah.
$4.99. Now, $2 a pack, and let's say I go through 3 to 4 packs a week.
So, okay, I get why you would do it there. That's egregious. $2
for the same freaking product.
Are you sure it's $2 difference?
Yes, I have command on this one.
Well, in that case, even if I didn't care about spending the extra $10 to $12 a week,
right,
I would. Just out of the principle of it all.
Right.
I mean, I would have said,
like, so what else
are you trying to do to me over here?
What products?
Done. Yeah.
What products am I buying here that I don't know the price comparison
You
for?
can hit the bend over sounder right there, buddy, because I got to tell you, that's ridiculous.
$2, man.
That's $2.
Bend over.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
Bend over.
No, I'm going to take it on down to the other store, especially if it's not that far from what I'm currently at.
Well, there's also a different brand that you can get at the routine supermarket that I already mentioned. And you can get those for $3 a pop.
Well, good Christ.
I know.
What's going on with the chicken sausage here?
Yeah,
it's like buying a couch. You're just getting screwed.
Yes. But okay.
Lord.
But the $4.99, $6.99 comparison, same product. Exact same.
We waited too long in the show to do this because I need to tell I'd like to ask people about any number of other products that I'm concerned about that I am in the market for here in the near future. And maybe folks like yourself could say, well, I'm learned on that subject, Jeff. Well, let me tell you, this is how much this is.
I'll tell you what, you know what we should do, because we're getting towards, the Black Friday thing next week for the holiday season where the electronics,
the
where
prices everybody flips out,
We should get the Price is Right music, and then we'll talk, we'll talk presents and gifts, and then,
let's do it.
We'll put out a list.
We'll do the guests.
And then we can put,
I'll play the game. I'm in. Let's
Okay.
do it. And then I'll challenge you. I'll come up with a list, and then you do it.
Right. And
you're not as domesticated, but you're getting there.
Yeah.
You're getting close.
Yeah.
I got to do it for the kids. I got to go buy stuff for the kids all the time.
You know who I am now? I check the temperature when I get home. I'm like, why is the window not open? That's the guy who I am now. I'm like, open the window. It's gorgeous outside.
Oh, soon, buddy, when you're dressing little ones, you step outside in the morning to gauge, well, this is okay for me, but it's going to be a little chilly for Clark, so let me get him the long shirt, and then, yeah, that's what you do.
Listen, I'm a millennial. We don't do selflessness.
It's good. Good work out of you, Tom. I was going to call you Matthew. But I meant to say good work out of you too, Matthew.
What an honor that would be to Matthew.
There it is. Nicely done. Well played. He's chuckling. Be well, front row Knowles. That's coming up next with my man Tim Linnefeld, who was upset that I told everybody how I would paste him with some with the what are they called? The
Papa Rellena.
No, the guns. The guns. The freaking
croquetas.
No. Paintball. I told everybody on Seminole Headlines yesterday that I wanted to have the media get together and let's go have a paintball war. And I said, I'm going to pick on Tim Linnefeld because I don't think he's very quick.
Gordos.
I'm just going to shoot Tim Linnefeld over and over as he's running, trying to get himself out of that ditch through the crossfire that I set up on. It's a turkey shoot, Tom. We got him.
Oh, no.
We got him. Linnefeld just...
The Linnefeld ambush in 2017.
Yeah, it'd be good stuff. He texted me last night about that, said he received a lot of text messages himself.
Oh.
Cameron says you're not too quick.
So people listen to Seminole Headlines, huh?
They do indeed. Front row Knowles up next. Stay tuned.